How y'all doing? How y'all doing? We're gonna be in here. This is gonna be a very interesting subject because I got some things I definitely got to say about this situation. Allowing people to step in the room. If you guys, as you guys are coming in the room, please hit the like button. Yes, 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 indeed. Please hit that like button. Please hit that like button as you guys are coming up in here. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for being with us. Listen, as of right now, I'm sure you guys have seen the Jubilee interview with Amanda Seals, or the, I guess, interview, not an interview, really a debate. But Jubilee has featured Amanda Seals. It was one black radical versus 20 black conservatives. All right. And she was going through and she had different talking points and they were coming up trying to rebuttal her talking points. If you guys haven't seen it, you guys should see it. You guys definitely should see it. Some good information. It was a good debate. I suppose. I mean, they none of them made any sense. None of the 20 black conservatives made a lick of sense. But it is good to get some facts, right? It is good to get that, right? But there's one part that a lot of people are discussing. It's one part that a lot of people in particular are really talking about. And that's the part where this guy, he's from Angola, he comes up. Now, he was kind of trolling before, but he comes up and the situation, they were going back and forth. And then Amanda was all like, where are you from? He's like, I'm from Maine. She's like, there's not too many people in Maine. He was like, I grew up in a black community. So she started asking follow-up questions and she found out that he's not even a first generation immigrant. He was actually born in Angola. Okay. And he moved out here when he was a little kid. So then she says, hey, you can't say anything. You're not a black American. You're not even a black American. So you don't have the right to really speak on black Americans. Now, mind you, Amanda is half FBA. Her father is FBA and her mother is from Grenada. All right. So she was all like, even as a daughter of an immigrant, boo up the bam, you guys, y'all can't be coming out here doing this. All right. Y'all don't have a right to sit up there and speak on something with this level of authority. Y'all don't have that right. Okay. So in this situation, she made the delineation. She delineated in this situation. All right. This is what Amanda did in that situation right there. And a lot of people going online, a lot of people saying, oh, that's really cool. That's cool that she did that. And I want us to take a second to recognize the fact that this is something that we've been doing. Okay. FBA, Foundational Black American, which is a lineage, but there's been people in the lineage who've been making it our business to delineate and to make sure that we specify that as foundational black American, we are different from other black people throughout the diaspora. Okay. We've been the ones doing that when everybody started calling it divisive in the very beginning. Everybody was saying, oh, that's divisive. Oh, y'all anti-African. Oh, y'all don't love yourselves. Oh, that sounds like MAGA. That sounds like alt-right division and separatists. They was a lot of folks was gaslighting that. Okay. If you guys remember, a lot of people were gaslighting. All right. And now we're starting to see a lot of people who, even though they might have an issue with the term FBA, which shows that, you're not fully on board. Okay. Because there should be no reason for you to have an issue with the term FBA. Because it is a lineage. So that means you're not fully on board. But a lot of people I'm starting to see are now calling out and delineating the same way we were doing from the very beginning. A lot of people are doing that. And this verifies the fact that we were right for doing that the whole time. Because when we started calling people tethers, because that's what he is, let's be honest. When we started calling people tethers and saying that people were cosplaying, they were all like, oh no, how do you say that? What does that mean? What does that mean, cosplaying? What does that mean they're a tether? Oh, that sounds like a slur, which is not. That sounds like a slur. Sounds like you hate people. That's what they were saying. That's what they were saying. When we started doing it, that's what we were saying. That's what they were saying about us and that we should stop. And now everybody is starting to realize that we were right to do that the whole time. Okay, because she didn't call him a tether, but she called him out for being one. She called him out for sitting up here cosplaying as a Black American and then speaking on our behalf. And this is the issue. People like him from Angola, this little Angolian tether, this is the issue that we've been dealing with for the longest time. And this is why we're calling this stuff out. Because he will get in front of a microphone and talk about how we don't deserve reparations and how Black people got Black crime and all of this stuff. And we need to do better. And the fathers got to stay in the home and all of this and all of that. He will be out here doing that. Okay. Hold on. Yeah, you gotta, I don't, because I don't know you, so I don't know. And we've had people troll and get the live shut down before, so I can't have the like on or the camera on. Okay, so a lot of people are giving this a lot of props, but people aren't calling it what it is, which is delineation. That's exactly what she did. Okay, not only because she disagreed, because she disagreed on behalf of the fact that you're speaking on a Black American issue as if you have any authority and you're an immigrant. All right. So where are all of the people to talk about that this was FBA was a fringe movement and delineation was xenophobic? Y'all was saying that y'all been saying that. Y'all still saying that. Okay. Where are y'all now? I want to know where y'all at now. All right. And we got a lot of people ready to speak. So BX, if you can please set the decorum of the room, I would appreciate that. And we can go ahead.
Afro. Hi, chat. When you request and you're allowed up on the panel, immediately go on mute until directed to speak. When you are directed to speak, please lead with your race, ethnicity, and if you are over 18. You don't necessarily have to give your age if you don't want to. Also, we don't require pronouns. So unless you want us to know, then you can let us know and we'll respect that. When I say race and ethnicity, so that there's no misunderstanding, I'm going to use myself for an example. My race is Black. My ethnic group is African American / Black American, but I culturally identify as a foundational Black American. What that means is that my ancestors were here in the United States of America between our emancipation period of 1863 to 1865 and can be found on a United States of America 1870 census. Now, some were enslaved, some were free, some were indigenous. So we understand American Indians when they come up and they say that they're American Indian or they're indigenous. So we understand when people come up and want to say, now everybody was enslaved. I get that. I'm just talking about the dates. Stick to the dates and we'll be fine. Now, if none of your ancestors fit that criteria, then you are not a Black American / African American. Those are my ethnic groups. You cannot migrate into that ethnic group. You are your parents or your grandparents' country of origin, meaning if you have two parents from the island of Jamaica or Haiti or Trinidad, then you are Jamaican American or Haitian American or Trinidadian American. If you have one from the continent, then Nigerian, Ghanaian, what else is over there? Ethiopian or, then you are Nigerian American, Ghanaian American, Ethiopian American, and we respect that. Afro Elite allows everybody to speak here as long as you're respectful and don't spread misinformation, and I won't stop you. And he won't stop you either, right? And then, so also, TikTok friendly language, please. So you got to use code words. So don't say WAR. You could spell it out or say tension, conflict, say deletion, self-deletion, schmurder, great, stuff like that. Hard candy or Mary Jane, because that's the greenery, the puffery there. See that orange heart by Afro Elite's name? Please click that and complete the daily mission. Also, after you complete the daily mission, claim all your points. That helps you with some type of incentive there, and it also helps keep Afro Elite in the algorithm and improve his rankings. Please share out the live, put it in your story, repost it to get some people in here, get some of your people in here so we can have a nice, good discussion on it. And I believe that's all, Afro. Twitter Afro is saying, some of the women that I follow, and some of the men too, they're saying Amanda Seals, we're not hiring. We can't forget her background of speaking out of turn. Don't give it away. Okay, no problem. Okay, I got it. All right.
I just want to highlight this situation right here, this specific situation right here. Okay.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Uh-huh. Well, she's delineating good, because some of us wanted her to delineate. Is delineating away from us when she said she an immigrant, a child of immigrants, Afro? Is that what you mean by delineating?
No, in this scene, this kid or
Hmm.
young man, he's not a kid, is from Angola. And he's speaking a bunch of conservative nonsense about black Americans got to do better and stuff like that. And then he
Yeah.
started saying certain things. And then Amanda was all like, "Where are you from?" And then he gave,
Hmm.
"Well, I'm from Maine." He wasn't really being specific. So she eventually started following up with questions. And then she's like, "Okay, where your family from?" And she found out he's from Angola. Okay, he's
Right.
Angolan. All right. And then she was all like, "Oh, you can't speak on black American issues, even as a daughter of an immigrant. Y'all can't come over here and start doing that." All right. So she called him out on tethering, really. Okay.
And Maine is very white tea,
It
correct?
is.
Because my
It's, for
son
the
used to
most part,
go
black people
to,
do not live in Maine. I don't know. Okay. That would be
yeah,
an
no,
incident in
no.
and of itself.
Yeah, it's a really small population there because my son used to go for Fresh Air Fund. So New York has like Fresh Air Fund where the city kids get to go and they
Hmm.
experience either farm life or camping, stuff like that.
Hmm.
And he used to stay on the farm. So I think that his mindset starts at home or the people that he's immediately around because everything he stated, I seen the highlight of it, is white tea talking points. I
Hmm.
land so we
Hmm.
could talk to you could talk to the guests.
It's very true. It's very true. Let's get you, Gabrielle. How you doing, Gabrielle?
I'm here. I'm sorry. I'm doing well. Thank you for inviting me onto the chat. I'm in my 30s. I'm an African American FBA. My family and grandparents are from Southern Louisiana. And before that, we don't know, unfortunately, as a result of slavery. But I did get a chance to watch the 20 versus 1 with Amanda. And I think that what she's doing, what she did in this particular back and forth with this young man, is actually something that I don't think FBA and Black Americans do intentionally as an attempt to like separate or segregate us from um, Africans who have immigrated to the U.S. versus those who were enslaved here. I think it's actually something that is in response to that being put on us, right? I think this young man was trying to essentially gain points and find a proximity to whiteness, find favor in whiteness, excuse me, that comes with distinguishing themselves from FBA, right? That somehow they are better than, more articulate, more affluent, whatever the adjective is that this young man and I think others attempt to sort of describe themselves as, is as a way to distinguish themselves from African Americans, from Black Americans, and from the plight that plagues us, right? Because if you can distinguish yourself, then all of the adjectives that apply to us don't apply to you. But I think Amanda was coming from sort of a reactive place because I don't think that the conversation started with FBA and Black Americans starting that conversation. I don't think it's ever been Black Americans' intention to separate or distinguish between Africans who have immigrated here and those who were enslaved here. I truthfully, I think that we're eager to combine, right? Where there's more power in our numbers if we're a unit, if we're unified. But I think that conversation has been happening for decades, and African Americans are finally saying, okay, well, if we're so different, we'll keep that same energy, right? Keep the same sort of perspective when there are positive things that are happening for us, or there's conversations about us who you're no longer entitled to this conversation because you are making such a point to distinguish yourself. So I think that she was right to delineate and to sort of distinguish between the two, but I don't think it's a Black American sort of pattern to have that conversation. I think instinctually we would want to join forces, but there is this distinction because the stereotypes and associations with Black Americans sometimes immigrants don't want to be associated with.
Well, let me piggyback because historically speaking, we've always tried to see ourselves as one big family. We've always done that. So historically speaking, it's really been them. Let's be honest. It's been them who delineated first. It's been them who've been the ones saying, "Hey, I'm not like y'all." They've been the ones who've been on that page for the longest time. And now we're all like, "Okay, well, if that's how it is, that's how it is then." Okay, so what we're doing is then now we're holding them to that standard. Now we're sitting up there holding it to that standard at that point because they've always kind of did that. They just never called it delineation.
Right.
But because they have been benefiting where, when it's a win for Black America, oh, we all Black and we all get to share this win. And now when it's a win for Jamaica, okay, no, this is a Jamaican win. No, we Jamaican. No, we Nigerian. No, we Haitian. So they've been, double dipping back and forth between eating off our plate and then eating off their plate. And now we just saying, okay, if that's how it's going to be that way 100%. Y'all can't come over here and claim to be one of us when we got points on the board or when the team is winning. And now when we taking a loss or now when we going through hard times, now you want, or y'all got to win. Y'all want to be different. Y'all can't have it both ways. Okay. If that's what y'all want to do, y'all stay over there. And we're holding them to that. And since we've been doing that, now we're starting to actually realize a lot of them have been bringing in a lot of issues. A lot of the problems are actually imported from the diaspora to America. All right. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm. I agree. And I think that there are some benefits, obvious benefits to being Black American and obvious benefits to being an African who's immigrated here. But if we're going to distinguish ourselves, then let's be consistent, right? Let's not distinguish when it's beneficial. Let's not associate when it's beneficial and distinguish when it's not. But I think that that's true of any racial group, right? Not just Africans who have immigrated here.
Oh, yeah, we got to do that with everybody, Black and brown and all of that. We got to do that with everybody.
Exactly. We are sort of the foundation of civil rights. We're the foundation of a lot of progress. And so when it's beneficial to align yourselves with the Black agenda, folks will do so. When it stops serving them, that's when we see this distinguished delineating thing happen.
Yeah. We've allowed them to, we've always done what's in the best interest of the community and Black people, and they've always done what's in the best interest of themselves. So now we're switching that. Let's get to Alexander.
Yeah.
Alexander, you got it.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's your race and ethnicity, please, sir?
Okay. I'm from Angola, and so
Have we spoken before? I think we've spoken before.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to speak slowly because I do have an accent, so I hope you guys understand me. But
okay.
So when it comes to this boy, I was unable to, to see exactly what he said, but I'm kind of surprised because first of all, he lives in Maine. And most of the immigrants who live in Maine, they're refugees. They don't even have a green card, from what I know. So I'm kind of surprised with what he said, because first of all, his mama, he came as a refugee. So I think they should ask him why your mama left Angola, because I'm from there. Is a shit. I'm telling you, the government doesn't give no right to those people. Right now, if you Google, they killing people from left.
You can't say the K word. You can't say.
Oh, okay, yeah. There are unliving people from left and right. They can't do anything. So the only way is to come to America. But for him to say that African American they should do better, it's just unbelievable. However, I believe he's being a friend by white tea, because and in Portland, man, there is a lot of white people, and probably they're trying to take advantage of him. It's kinda. I mean, I don't even know where he's trying to go. To be honest, I don't.
And this is why delineation is necessary.
And the other thing, I do agree with you. There are some African American who are born from a foreign immigrant. However, when they get to the either to the Senate or to the House of Representatives, they try to put the interests of the home country instead of the community that represent. I mean,
Well,
it's a
yeah,
fact. I know
there
that.
might be a little language barrier. I think you meant like you mean immigrants, like first generation or second generation, because you said African American.
No, no,
So
no.
so there's no confusion. You
No,
mean immigrants, right?
yeah, I say the first generation of immigrant. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what we got going on in Congress, which is why we're seeing a lot of immigrants get stuff, set asides, benefits, things like that. And we're wondering why reparations is like this carrot on a stick and we're not really making any progress because the people running a lot of these reparations task forces and reparations meetings and everything like that, they are immigrants. Okay. So now we're starting to really understand, okay, this is why our lineage has not been advancing because you guys are supposed to be the ones representing us and y'all are skipping over us and trying to do what's in the best interest of immigrants, all right? And trying to give them a heads up over us. So that's what we're noticing.
Yeah, I think so. The only option for you guys, to do more research about anybody who trying to run for Congress to find out exactly what they're trying to do for the black community, because
Yeah.
most of the time people they just elect, oh, he's a Democrat, but they don't know exactly the background.
Yep. We gotta do the paperwork check.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's get to
I agree. Also,
hold on, but
like I said, you guys have a point, but at the
that's
same time, they should find the common ground to come together. So
yeah, but let's get to curl power.
Yes, I didn't get a chance to watch the Amanda Seals video, but I just wanted to speak on what your overview of it was.
Mhm.
I do notice that it's something because I have a few friends that live abroad and they're telling me things that they're seeing abroad in other countries. But um, noticed that, like, based off of what they're saying, is that a lot of like the black immigrants abroad, they tend to do the same thing over there. They tend to go, and in France or in the UK, and they tend to start to speak on issues as if they are the same on the same level as the native French people, the native British people, as if they have like some sort of history involved in it. And now I feel like it's the same thing here, where they're coming over here and they're speaking on things that really isn't their place to speak on. They don't really understand the full story or background behind what they're speaking on. And I feel that if they're going to come here and to speak on our community, I feel that it should be from a place of trying to lend some sort of help or assistance, and not for you to try to undermine us or to try to gain favor with the other people, white tea Americans. I feel that it should come from that type of place. If it's not going to come from that place, then you should focus on yourselves while you're here and focus on your countries, because the thing is, they have a lot of issues in their countries that if you were to speak on that, they will be trying to pull you out to the streets and burn you in the streets. This is how upset they are when we speak on their countries. But then they feel that it's okay for them to come over here and speak on us, and we're supposed to just sit idly and accept that. And then you have these lives like yourself, Afroly, where you you're having dialogue with it. You're not upset. You're not trying to go and attack them like they do in their countries, like in South Africa. Not trying to attack the South Africans, but you don't see them. I've been hearing that they're attacking Nigerians. So we're not reacting that way.
Mhm.
So it's just, it's so disrespectful. And I think they do this because they don't really want the accountability of building up their homelands. That's why they do this. So they go to Europe and do the same thing. They go to Asia, do the same thing. They come over here and do the same thing because they try to immerse themselves in our culture. So that way they don't have to claim their homelands.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just been something I've been noticing. Like I have a few friends that are in the Peace Corps, and they've been telling me things, and we've had discussions about it. So I'm like, why are they the only people that do this? You don't see it from the Arabs and France. You don't hear about it from the Indians in the UK. It's always them in the midst of this.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I had to say about it. But I'm going to watch that video now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me know what you think. But that's one thing I want you guys to understand. This issue that we're having, they're having this a lot in Africa, on the continent, in Africa now in 2025. They're having this issue right now. So when people try to make it seem like this is out of xenophobia, go look at the conflicts that they're having in Africa. They're having the same issues, okay, with people coming in and they're just doing what they want to do. All right. They have the same issues where everywhere they go, they're having the same issues. But yet only over here are they gaslighting us and making it seem like this stems from some type of xenophobia. This stems from some type of jealousy or animosity. And it doesn't. It doesn't. All right.
Exactly. Yeah, and yeah, I was wanting to say, like, just the fact that we're even taking the time to have these conversations and having this much patience. I'm sorry, again, I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself, but I am FBA. I'm from Michigan. Like, even I'm at the point where I'm kind of just tired of, explaining things over and over and
Mm-hmm.
having these discussions. At this point, I just want to move the same way they're moving. Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you want to be disrespectful? I'll go ahead and research your homeland, see what's going on there, and then we're going to have a discussion about what's going on there and what you think about that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, you can't do that because when you talk about the issues that plagues their countries, they immediately start to do things that we don't even do. They
Mm-hmm.
immediately start to try to look up your family and look up who you
Yeah,
are
and
and
dox
do
you
the
and all of that
yeah,
stuff.
they do the, what is it called, gang stalking, do the craziest things. And then
Mm-hmm.
of course you see what's going on in their countries where they're taking out people on the streets for a disagreement and then set them on fire and everything. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just, it's just weird how they have this amnesia and like they,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but they get, the thing is, from what my friends say, they get called out a lot abroad though. Like, people call them out about this. The thing is, they come over here and they get to kind of get away with it because I do think as a people we should start to research more of what's going on outside of our country and everything. I understand why we don't, because it's a large country, we have a lot going on here. Why would we need to? But they get caught a lot over there, so they have to come over here and try to get away with it.
Yep. It's
I'm
true.
done. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me get to Malik.
What's up, Afro Lee? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. Yeah, I want to give my quick opinion on this issue and topic real quick. It's just going to be very simple. Um, I'm glad that Amanda Seals has checked that Angolan for disrespecting foundational Black Americans, because it goes to show you how really ignorant that Angolan person is, because he should not be involved in no FBA issues.
Mm-hmm.
And that's number one. And number two, he has no right to speak on FBA issues because he doesn't have the FBA lineage and should not be saying anything negative about it. And then number three, he doesn't want to take the time to research on what FBA's even went through and what we're still going through right now in today's climate in our own country we built. And then one thing I did appreciate about Amanda Seals, since I saw that small clip, I just glad she checked them for disrespecting us, because the problem with these melanated faces, they practice this white tea supremacist mentality to bring us down more.
Mm-hmm.
And we need some people from those backgrounds to keep checking people who keep disrespecting us like that. And it gets to the point that, yeah, we're very exhausted from people from melanated faces disrespecting foundational Black Americans' progress, because they don't want to never talk nothing positive about our history and stuff. And they should not be involved in our politics. They should not be involved in our next phase that we're moving forward. But they need to worry about fixing their own homeland instead of worrying about us.
Mm. Yeah, well, that's true. They do. They got enough to worry about. They really do.
Exactly. It's really disrespectful.
Mhm. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Uh, how do you?
Aisha, my bad. I was having technical difficulties, but I'm muting my mic.
Okay. Oh, but you can go ahead. You can go ahead. Are you FBA or no?
Absolutely. Blickety
Okay.
black all the way. I'm from Oakland, California. Family from Mississippi, Louisiana, Chicago, all over. This is my first live, so I really appreciate this content. Um, I just wanted to say a couple things. One, my grandfather from Moonshine, Louisiana, full backwoods guy, he's never separated himself from, he's always actually, excuse me, separated himself from Africans. He understood, I'm a black man, I'm a black man, I'm a black man from America, that African stuff, this, and that. But he also had this way about him, like when Amanda was explaining to him the difference between ethnicity and race being this construct of domination ultimately, right? And one way that my grandfather would share a camaraderie with melanated people is by being like, hey, what's up, black man, black man? So even though he understood very clearly on a deep country, almost ignorant level, like I'm American, we don't do all that. He used to say some of the most ignorant stuff. Ooh, I'm like, Papa, you can't do that. You can't talk like that about people. But in that same turn, if he's seen a black, the first thing he would see from a man is the blackness of him. So he out of respect, he'd say, "How you doing, black man?" And I say that because I think that us as foundational black Americans, we have this elevated spiritual consciousness. We have this sense of justice because we know who our enemy is. Like we've seen the story unfold in a way that is a different chapter from our brothers and sisters, right? From where we originally came from to them being stolen and brought here. And correct me, please, if I use any improper language. But we just have this sense that of divide and conquer, right? We understand how our sacrifices impacted a nation, a globe of YT supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
We understood it because we had to liberate ourselves from a whole, we had to figure out who we could trust to even get to freedom. So we actually did make some white people our brothers and our sisters, and on a level of spiritual liberation. And I don't think that they comprehend that because they still don't know the narrative. They don't understand. They don't have a deeper spiritual comprehension of the storyline. I've been to Ghana and I've met people there who did get it and just instantly embraced, like, man, anytime come home, we get it. But a lot of the people just seen what the media fed them, that we were all wealthy or lazy, or we're either, there's no in between a Cosby show and um what like The Wire, right?
Mm.
So that's their comprehension of us, but they're not comprehending who the real enemy is. And I think we have a deeper comprehension of justice. So I just wanted to add that because lastly, it makes me upset how they come here. And it's one thing to be disrespectful, and it's one thing to like lack decency just of respecting other people's culture, meaning our culture, but
Mm-hmm.
they really don't pay homage. They wouldn't have what they have if it wasn't for us.
True.
So that's my take, y'all.
That's very true. There's our history in this country with slavery and everything like that. That has put us in a condition, and it's kind of bred, our environment here has bred a different mindset and a different spirit, really, than everywhere else. Okay. So we see things very clearly, and they see things at best through like some type of window, at best through some very foggy window where some of them kind of can make out the picture, but they don't get it. We get it. We don't have a veil or a window or anything like that prevents us from seeing the picture for what it is and knowing the racial dynamic for what it really is. They do. They do. Um, we're gonna get to Ralph and then Do.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
How you doing? Are you FBA or no?
No, I'm not. I'm a white man.
Okay, what do you here for? Okay, you're a white man.
It's a topic that interests me.
Why does it interest you?
Because I care about issues that affect society, and this is one of them.
How does this affect society?
Well, I mean, like you're talking about disparate groups, or just like two groups that are having friction or conflict.
Mm,
And
okay.
so that, as like on a logical level, just is like an interesting puzzle to me.
Okay. It's interesting to you, right?
Sure.
Okay, so you wanted to come up and you wanted to voice your opinion, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I want to be, forthcoming about. I haven't actually seen the Amanda Seales. I don't know who Amanda Seales is, but just sitting back and listening to you guys, I've actually encountered this topic a few times. So I
Okay.
feel like I'm capable of speaking on it, but I don't want to be, rude to the panel or anything.
You're capable of
Can I
speaking,
tell?
right? That's what you feel. You've heard you haven't seen the live, but you've seen many live conversations.
Well, I mean, I've spent a lot of time on TikTok, and this topic has come up a few times that I've been a part of.
Oh, yeah, that's an interesting algorithm you got there.
I guess so.
Okay, and your stance. I don't know how you could give a stance if you have not seen the interview. But
Well, so
what do you have to say about the topic?
so I have an analogy that I think is like probably the most palatable, neutral analogy that I see happening with what has been described about FBA. I've also heard them called ADOS or ADOS. Um, so like I understand the distinction, whereas like and then immigrants come to the country and they have this like interpretation of what things are here based on what they've seen through media and what they've heard from people who have visited, or like tourists that have come to their country, and so on. So like the analogy that I thought of is kind of like that of like a labor union that's on strike, and then the company tries to like hire scabs to come in and fill in who haven't been there for the whole cultural kind of like unfolding of it all. And so it's like you can't be totally mad at the scabs, because like they're just trying to feed their family, but like they're also interfering with like what your movement is at the same time. And
And
so like
what is our movement?
you're trying to get a fair shake for past wrongdoings.
Like reparations, right?
Yeah, I don't know that that's the best path forward, but that's my
No,
own personal opinion.
why is reparations not the best path forward? What do you
Because
think about reparations?
it's been overused, and it needs to be reinvented. It needs to be kind of like tweaked a little bit, I think, at this point.
Really? Okay.
Like the whole 40
What-
acres and a mule thing is kind of like a tired chant at this point.
Okay, so how should you, as of right now, you do not agree with reparations, right? You would say you
No, I
don't
believe
know reparations.
I believe that families that were done wrong in the past deserve compensation. I'm just saying that like the tactic about approaching it needs to be like reassessed.
Reassess. Okay, how should it be reassessed?
Just and like what will actually work. Like people have been like like talking about reparations for a long time, and it's not really materialized. So like I think there needs to be like a next level to this thing.
Okay, no.
One moment.
Okay, BX.
We do have instances where it did materialize. Belinda something comes to mind in the 1880s, I believe. And then we also have Evanston, Illinois. They have a form of reparations that has been paid out to the residents, and it's getting paid out monthly. So I will say that.
I
So
apologize
you,
for not
like you
being
said,
familiar.
you're just,
Well, I'm
huh?
sorry. I'm not trying to interrupt. I was just saying I hadn't heard of those.
Okay, yeah, because you don't know our history, right? And so you're just like you're just interjecting yourself in stuff that you find interesting when you're bored and not taking care. This is stuff we live and breathe. This is stuff we know,
Now,
right?
I've been as polite as possible. I
Ralph.
don't know why you're
Now,
attacking.
okay, if you feel like you disagree because reparations has been too long ago, you feel like it's been too long ago, right?
No, I just think it needs a rebranding.
It needs a rebranding. Okay,
Yeah,
if you
I
were
think
to
that
make it, how would you rebrand it?
so like we have all this like ancestry stuff now. You could probably create some kind of like media impetus that gets like a social network hashtag going or something like that, that then just like makes it so prevalent in everyone's minds that they're just like, yeah, why haven't we done that? But like,
Okay, well,
but the
okay. If you were a lawmaker, how would you form reparations? How would you form reparations if you were a lawmaker? Like, would you give it to FBA, cash payments to FBA if you were
so
a lawmaker?
so um it's a very complex arithmetic to figure, like who gets paid what, and
Mm-hmm.
in what time and what order, how do we prioritize? Like there's so many different
Mm-hmm.
questions that arise when you start thinking about how to actualize, some kind of program like that. um I If
Mm-hmm.
as a lawmaker, I would probably do polling because that's what politicians do,
Mm-hmm.
and see where the public's at, and then like go from there.
So
um
if let me ask you this: if most black people agreed and most white people disagreed, what would you do?
uh I mean, I would consider like what the fallout would be of pushing forward that kind of legislation at this point in time.
Um,
It doesn't necessarily mean that I would not do it, or that I would find it to be like the wrong decision at all. But like that's part of like what
yeah,
governance
you would
is. It's like,
consider white people's opinion on our reparations, right?
yeah, I would.
Okay, all right.
One moment, Afro Lee, do you
Yes.
notice, did you ever get polled for the small hats reparations? Did
No,
you
I
ever
didn't.
get polled for the Native Americans? Did you ever get polled for whoever else got reparations in this land? Even the Latinos got a form of
Mm-hmm.
reparations. The immigrants are getting a form of reparations over there in California. And you want
Mm-hmm.
people, and people have been polled at our reparations if we deserve it. Over 77% of the country of those polled, feel
Mm-hmm.
that we don't need it. I believe there's an updated number that's more along 67. I guess some people are swaying. My whole point is,
Mm-hmm.
why does everybody think we're children that everybody needs to be polled on what happens to us? Are we polled on foreign aid? Like, cut it out. So, Ross,
No,
if
no,
you're in
no,
any type of one moment, I'm gonna land. So, to anybody who's a decision maker or something, take the immigrants and take everybody else who's not of our lineage out of it, because this is a decision that has to be made by the rightful descendants. That's all. That's all that needs to
Mm-hmm.
be polled on what we want to be called, what we know we deserve. I don't know why the white T man think that he got a say in it. All he got to do is cut the check and dole out the land patents. I don't need nothing
see,
else
that's
from a
a
white T,
weird
not an
attitude
opinion,
that's a
nothing
weird
else.
attitude.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't
Okay.
care. I think it's weird that your people were
Now,
enslaving mine. I think that's
now,
weird that y'all were conquering people
now,
too
I had
and
nothing
well,
land.
we
I
can
had nothing to
hold
do with
on,
that, so like,
because I'm
I don't
trying to
know.
prove a point here. This is why I'm having this conversation with you, to prove a point, trying to prove one, and I'm proving the point. But I'm gonna articulate that after we get done speaking, right? So you came up here because this conversation interests you. So a lot of black subjects interest you because that's what's on your timeline. That's what you see, right?
I mean, somewhat. I'm also interested in other things. I don't spend all my time on black issues,
Oh
but
no,
yeah,
I mean, but you are interested in black issues. I'm not saying that's
yeah,
the
yeah,
point.
sure,
You are
yeah,
interested in black issues,
yeah.
okay? And you wanted to speak on it because, as you said, you've seen a lot of it, enough
I
to
mean,
speak on.
I've seen some. I don't know what qualifies as a lot, but like I've encountered the topic before, so that's why
Okay,
I felt at least comfortable enough to speak with you,
okay.
and then just like let you know what my level of understanding is.
Oh, I understand. I know your level of understanding. All right,
Okay, man.
I do. You have a good night.
Okay.
Now, let me let you guys know why I did that. Let me let you guys understand exactly why I did that. He's a Caucasian in black business. We're not discussing anything to do with the Caucasians, white people, nothing like that. And he comes here saying, now I want y'all to understand how often we're looked at, how often we're watched. He's just one of the bold ones who are actually coming up to speak. Okay. But we're watched by them all of the time. every single time we go live, every single time we make a video, every single time we do anything, they're always watching. It ain't got nothing to do with them, but they're watching what we got going on. So much so he feels emboldened enough to speak on the situation and entitled to speak on the situation. I will give him the fact that at least he was honest. At least he didn't try to hide the fact he's white. Now, what's interesting is that he's like, well, yeah, immigrants are coming in and they're going against what's in the best interest of black people. And then I said like reparations, and then notice how he got real defensive. Well, I don't really know. I don't really know about that, right? He's gonna be one of the black the same way, and I let him speak because this guy, he lived in Maine, and most of the Caucasians, most of the white tea people he probably deals with is just like that guy. Okay, I like black people, but reparations, I don't really know if we should do that. I want you to understand, because just because they're opposed to reparations, they're not going to say it with a lot of hostility. They're going to try to reframe reparations into something like, well, I mean, maybe we should do a poll. He's an anti-reparationist. He's against the concept of reparations. All right. But he's not, he's trying to come off like, well, I'm one of the cool ones. I'm one of the allies who just want to come in and speak on the subject because it's so interesting to me. It's so intriguing to me or whatever. But I said, okay, and then he tried to drag it. And I said, okay, well, if you were a lawmaker and you had the opportunity to sign your name and give us reparations, would you do it? Oh, well, I'll do a poll and see and all of that stuff. Oh, so you would consider white people's opinion? Yeah. Okay. All right. That's all we need to know. So that would be a no. He's like, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. That's a no. That's a no. And I want you guys to understand, and he will be all up in his ear talking about, you know what, brother, you're one of the good ones. You're one of the good ones. I like black people, but not all of them. A lot of them are ghetto, but you're one of the good ones. He's one of the people who do that. Okay? Because he doesn't have the best interests of black people in mind. All right? He's very sneaky the way he came in here. He didn't come in very hostile or anything like that. We have to deal with a lot of sneaky Europeans who come in like, I'm just curious and I just want to have a conversation with my fellow black brothers and sisters. Like, no. Very sneaky. Very, very, very sneaky. Okay. Let's get to Do. You got it, sister. Do, are you with us?
Problems. Her screen looks black on my end. Oh, there she goes.
Well, all right then. Let's get to Man Alone. Do, are you back? You gotta unmute yourself. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on. We can't hear you. You gotta unmute yourself. Oh, all right. Maybe her phone is kind of acting up or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry about that. Thank you. I got a little bit to speak. Now you can see enemy in front of you and trying to fool you and everything. Thank you. I'm East African. Born, in my kid born here. I've been here for 20 years. I grew up here since I was 25. Okay. Today I'm 44. Give us idea. I'm African. Put my money to the white man bank. Create your bank app. You are BA African American. Tell me, hey, this is a black bank. Put your money here. So to support our community who was being here. See, you have a blank. We put our money to the white man. White man do that to replace that to you and abuse us. So while we are being innocent to you, our people, I don't care if you are changing your color today to be a Indian. We don't see the black bank or Indian American bank here to put our own money to. We all come from outside, right? Yes. We will have a decision to put our own money. You guys can operate to bring that money to the community, live our country. Now y'all put the same thing the white man ideology to African people, we are innocent right now. We don't know where to go. But it's not a
See,
long
what
time.
is
This is
the,
Africa right
hold on.
now. We need to
Chad.
be together to
Hold
do
on,
what we.
brother.
No,
Hold on, brother.
hold
Hold
on.
on,
Let me
brother.
finish. Let me finish
No,
what I have to say.
hold on, brother. I didn't hear what you said. Relax. Relax. I'm gonna let you go ahead. I'm not really getting how this is germane to the subject, but I'm gonna let you try to connect it. But let me ask you, okay? You said you're from East Africa, right?
Yes,
Where at? What country?
South Sudan is a new country
South
here.
Sudan. Okay, all right. So you're talking about the black bank, and we should all put our money in the black bank. And now you said something that we're like we're giving you or treating you guys with the YT man's ideology. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay, and
Because when
what
I
is
come
that?
from Africa, hold up. When I come from Africa, if I should be able to get your bank, black bank, so I can put my money and flip those money, and then to the community to live off the community. We have to do that. We are a rich nation. We are a rich nation. We come here, they say, okay, when we come here, they say, oh, we are black people. That's a why ideology.
Okay,
Why?
so
Hold up. Let me finish to understand. Then we love your
brother,
show.
Being
calm
borderline
down.
disrespectful. Hold on.
Relax.
You're being borderline disrespectful. From
Yeah,
what I'm understanding, you don't understand we have over 200 black banks. Did you do your research and put your own money in there? Or are you
Where?
teaching to us that there is none? Do your research, because I know about one right off the bat, but guess what? I don't trust no African. I don't know if I want your money in our banks.
I'm gonna be on. First
To
off,
be honest,
I want to go. First off, like I'm saying, this is not about the subject. This really ain't got nothing to do with the subject. I'm giving you a chance for you to try to make this connect to the subject. It's not connecting yet. I'm not seeing it. But you're saying that we're treating you like the YT man. What are we as foundational Black Americans doing to you all?
No, you are not a black American. You are Cherokee right now. You can be with a different
I'm
African
not a I'm
American,
not I'm
and
not a Black
because you
American.
are. Now, hold on, let me finish, cause I
No,
want to
you're
tell.
saying I'm
Let me
not a Black
let
American, right?
no let me speak. Give me like 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
You say now you are out African American, right? You are Cherokee. Where did the Cherokee bank so we can put our own money to flip those money to save our own your community? Period. If we come here in the United
would
States,
have
we're
found it.
migrant.
He's been
Hold
in
on.
the state.
Mute
He's
that
been
sister,
in
please.
these states
Mute that
for
sister.
over
Mute sister.
20
I want to
something
tell you,
years,
I
Afro
want
Elite.
to pass
He
the
has
point right here.
children here and
I know.
doesn't understand that we have
I
black banks.
I get it. I'm gonna let him go for his
Thank
two
you.
minutes. I'm gonna let him go for his 2 minutes.
Okay.
If now you guy out from the African American, yes.
Hmm.
ABA, thank. Make sure the bank FBA so African can be able to force the money down there, and you make sure that you put the, we African, we don't have no power here in this country. That's why we put our money to the white man success more and drain us and give our problem we are today. We fight each other, don't do nothing. If you guys open the bank around the United States, is that black bank? We will force our suffer in here in the United States to that bank, and FBA can be success like other people. That's it. But don't abuse African. We a rich nation. We a rich nation. We can be brainwashed. The same the white man brainwash us. We give them the money. They can't do nothing to us. They abuse us. And my people being here for so long, I don't care if you change or you are regular and they stand. Where is success? Then we can be together and tell us what we have to do. Hey, we've been here for so long, and this is we need to go to live our own nation. I know you come from Africa, let's do this. But no, it's about to operate the negative all the time. We can see the black bank in the United States. Thank you.
Okay. The black bank. Do you have your money in a black bank now? Do you
Well,
have?
we don't have no black bank I can see. I've been
Okay.
here. That's
Okay.
like
So
20
okay,
years in the United States.
brother,
No
late. You
black
don't
bank
gotta
to
be all
force
like
my
that.
money to.
You don't gotta be like that. I'm asking. Okay, so you don't have your money is not in a black owned bank. It's in a white T owned bank. Okay. All right. So let me ask you this question: why is your money not in a bank in your homeland?
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
No, no, I'm asking. I
Hold
let
up,
you
man. You
rock for
asked me the
2 minutes.
question.
Hold
Let me
on.
answer.
Why are
Let me
you so?
answer the
You are
question. You
very
asked me the
triggered right
question,
now.
bro.
Hold on, bro. Hey. You talking about how much y'all got all these riches and y'all coming over here and we messing y'all up. You know what I'm saying? If we the ones who ain't got it together or whatever, and y'all coming over here and because we messed up, y'all messed up, then you should really be the example and have banks in your homeland because there would be no white T owned banks. And what you say you're from Sudan? You're Sudanese, right? Didn't you say that? If
I
I'm not
am East African. I'm not Sudanese. There is
oh,
East African like North Korea
where
and
did you
South
say
Korea.
what nation did you say you were from? East Africa is not a
I
nation.
say I am from South Sudan. Is if you see the
South
South,
Sudan. I just
the
said
North.
Sudan. I
Look,
just said Sudan. But
let me
okay.
explain it to
But
you.
hold
Let me
on. I'm
explain.
no, man. Damn. Calm down. Well, you want to come over here and you want to ridicule us for quote unquote not having black banks, even though there are black banks, and you can actually bank online if you didn't know that, which you do. You can bank online. You don't actually have to have a local black bank. All right. You can bank online, but you want to come over here and ridicule us about something. And when you go to Sudan,
No,
y'all
I'm
should be
not a
out here.
Sudanese. I'm an East African.
Didn't you say you're Sudanese? What
I am
nation are you
East
from, dude?
African. I am East African. I'm not a
Okay,
Sudanese.
okay, better. That's better. Okay, so there should be a whole bunch of banks in East Africa with all of the resources and riches y'all got over here. So why are you mad that there are no black-owned banks in America and we're not even the majority? Y'all the majority in East Africa. There should be a plethora of rich black-owned banks and black-owned hospitals and black-owned this and black-owned that all throughout East Africa with all the resources and the riches and the good culture y'all claim y'all have. Y'all should have it all. It should be Wakanda in East Africa. Why? So why are you over here complaining about what we don't have for you?
Olaf. Okay, thank you. Let me answer that. Thank you so much. And you see, we're gonna go with the same table. We're gonna eat the same. We're gonna be in the same
No,
table,
no,
family. I don't
because we
care.
can't go over there.
Hold
No,
up.
no,
Let me
no,
answer.
no, 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 no. You're coming over here talking about eating off the same table. Why can't we go over there and eat off that table?
Well, whatever you eat right now, you survive. And
No, no, no. We're eating
well,
because we made.
hold
No,
up.
no,
Let me
no, no,
answer.
no. Calm down. We're eating because we made the table and then put the food on the table. Okay.
Okay.
You guys are eating off our table. We're not eating off your table. That's the difference.
Good.
And you coming from East Africa, y'all should have a whole bunch of tables with a whole bunch of food on the tables. And y'all don't got nothing for us to eat when we go over there. But you coming over here eating off our table, criticizing the food that's on the table.
Okay, thank you.
So what gives hold on, I'm saying if you got a lot of criticism for what our table is or what is not on our table, where's your table? And why don't you have the things that you're preaching that we should have?
Thank you. Thank you.
No, 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 thank you. Answer the
Oh,
question.
hold up. Let me speak. Let me speak too. That is too much because you asked me so a lot of questions and I don't know. I don't want to miss no, question you ask me. You
Okay.
see, I'm gonna give you an example. Go to the white man, understand why we are how we are strong. We are melanated right now around the world. We can know everything. We go to Africa. I'm gonna give you the money in the United States here, 5,000 US dollar. Go to Africa, buy my budget. You can go to Africa and you go there, and see. You make your own research. Don't sit down here. If you have a African, I'm gonna give you 5,000 US dollar. Go to African and
Oh,
research and see. Oh,
brother,
hold on. Let me
no,
finish.
no,
Let
brother,
me finish.
brother,
Let
no,
me
no, no,
finish.
no,
Let me
no,
finish.
no. This is funny as hell, brother. No, no,
No,
because
why
you
you
said
say that?
no,
I am come
brother,
here and criticize you
calm down.
because
No,
I want
calm
to.
down.
Let me finish. Give me the
No,
chance.
no, because what you said before is that y'all got a bunch of riches in Africa. Remember? I remember that. You
But
said
who
y'all
have a
coming over
key? You don't
and
have no
no,
key in the
brother,
United States.
oh,
Who have the key?
hey, stop. And I'm calling you brother to be respectful, but you need to calm down. All
Okay,
right?
thank you.
All that shit needs to stop. All right? Because I let you rock for 2 minutes and it ain't got nothing to do with the subject, but despite the fact that it's highlighting the need for us to delineate, is actually what you're doing is verifying our need to delineate. That's what you're doing. You don't know that that's what you're doing, but that is what you're doing. Okay? Because it ain't no table over there in East Africa. Not for us and not even for y'all, which is why you're over here. Okay? eating off of our table that we built, and we put the food on the table for you guys, as you sit up there ridiculing and feel like you have some type of authority to speak on what should be on the table, things that you're not providing. You're not even talking about a black-owned bank. You're talking about why do we not have a black-owned bank for your ass to come over here and benefit off of? Why have we not put more on the table for your ass? Not despite the fact that you don't have nothing on the table for not even yourself.
Thank you.
You're coming over here. Stop. That's like a homeless person complaining about a sandwich that I gave him.
No, thank you. Thank you. I will thank you for your sentiment.
We done with that. Ain't no more back and forth. Okay? Y'all don't have nothing for anybody to come over there and benefit off of. Okay? That's why all of y'all are fleeing over here and got some type of audacity to talk about what we have not done for you guys. Everything you have is what we've done for you guys. Y'all wouldn't have anything if we did not do that for you guys, because y'all don't have anything back in your homeland, which is why you're not there. You're here.
Wow.
All right. Let's get to my brother, FBA Detroit.
What up, though, Afro?
What up, though?
Hey, I didn't get to see the interview, but I've been listening to the conversation, and I just wanted to, enlighten the people like that man from Maine, which is the whitest state in the United States, that might not understand the point of delineating from all foreign black nations that are in this nation. I never wanted to delineate as much as I do now. After I seen this video the other day, I had two reasons. I just want to state these two reasons. The other day, I saw this video of a Black Lives Matter rally in Washington, D.C. And during this video, there were a lot of white tea people that were standing with us and protesting about George Floyd. Mm-hmm. And this African immigrant woman had the audacity to come out there and say that black people unalive each other all the time in Chicago. Why does it only matter when a white tea man unalives a black man? It should matter all the time. It shouldn't. No, you are the ones that is racist. So she came out there and protested against us at our protest. She was out there comparing gangbangers in Chicago, doing whatever they do amongst each other, to a police officer. Not she was minimizing the role that the police officer had played in unaliving a man. This is a police officer that is held to a higher standard, who is supposed to protect us, who sat there with his knee on a man's neck until he was unalive. And you comparing him to some gangbangers that unalive other gangbangers in Chicago. Not only did she not realize that she was overstepping her boundaries in the first place, I couldn't see myself going to an African rally and picking up the microphone in Africa and saying this to those people and shifting the blame back on them as if I was protesting against their protests. And it was to the point where the white tea women were mad and going backwards and forth with her about this. And she was saying, white tea people unalive other white tea people, and you don't see them with a sign saying white lives matter. And a white woman told her they do. They literally do. Every time there's a Black Lives Matter rally, there are white tea people who come out here and say white tea lives matter. So that right there made me see that they don't see our issues the same way that we see our issues. It's kind of like when you're reading about somebody that got unalived in a newspaper, you sip your coffee, you shake your head, say that's a damn shame, and you flip the page because it ain't your family member, it ain't your friend, it didn't happen in your neighborhood. You just read about this person, you see. And just like when we hear stuff about over there, we don't feel it like them. We can hear about Boko Haram coming through wrecking shit, and we could be like, oh damn, that's messed up, but it's not happening to us, so we're not going to feel the same way about Boko Haram that they do. So they come over here and they feel like they're one of us, but then they criticize us. And he was the prime example of that, saying what we don't have, but you're over here reaping what we do have. You're reaping the benefits of everything that these people don't understand, that everything that we have, every right that we have, we had to fight for. And after we finished fighting for it, everybody else just came and got the shit for free. Like we had to fight for, man, come on, man. We had a whole Negro League baseball team. We couldn't even play sports. over here. You see what I'm saying? We had to fight to play a damn sport. We had to fight to sit on the bus in the back or in the front. We had to fight to go in the restaurant. We had to fight to vote, fight to fight in the army. The first person to be unalive, to have his blood spilled in the American Revolution, which was the 13 British colonies that started the United States, for them to delineate and become the United States. The first person who was unalive was Crispus Attucks, and that was a black man. All right. So I just wanted to point that out just to say, this is why we delineate. We don't want somebody who's from a whole nother country who does not understand our struggles, taking political offices, fighting for our reparations and going against it. And we don't want somebody at a Black Lives Matter rally when we're out here protesting against police brutality, somebody who looks like us. Do you know what kind of and how embarrassing that is for another black person to get up there and fight against us when we're fighting against police brutality? That is very embarrassing. We don't want that. So we want y'all to understand that you are black, but you are not one of us. And it's very easy for you to overstep your boundaries. And one more point I want to point out. When we go over there ready to buy houses, property, and open up businesses. We don't go over there to y'all country looking for a job. We don't go over y'all country trying to get an education. We don't go over there to y'all country broke. Over 19% of y'all immigrants come over here broke, living below the poverty line. You was broke in your own country. That's why you came here. But Americans, black Americans, we're not going anywhere. If we are broke, we're not going off the couch. We're going to go to work, go home, and man, you going out? Man, I ain't going nowhere. I'm broke. So when y'all load up y'all bags and fly 10,000 miles away over here broke, looking for a job, working at Walmart and all these other little low-paying jobs that I see over here, I can't understand that. How do y'all come over here and then talk about what we ain't got for you? I land my plane.
Yeah. I mean, you're seeing a lot of audacity, which is why I'm gonna be honest. Delineating is one of the smartest things that we've done in generations. That's one of the wisest things that we've done. We're starting to unveil a lot of issues that we've had in the community, okay, and start to make a lot of progress. It was very divisive at first. It was hateful at first. I see people in the chat room saying that right now. It was all of that at first, but now people are really starting to see, like, hey, man, this is the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense. Okay,
and I posted that interview too. That Black Lives Matter rally. Y'all people who don't understand why we trying to delineate, y'all need to go look at. She says Black Lives Matter is a joke. Just type that in, and you'll see that African woman out there protesting against us at our protest. Very disrespectful, very out of pocket, overstepping her boundaries. You're not even one of us. We got white people out there marching with us. Here you come, a black person.
That's true. Yep, that's true. Let me get to Freddie Mac. You got it, bro.
All right, Afro.
All right, peace. Freddie, are you FBA? I think have we talked before, Freddie?
No, sir, we haven't.
Okay, so you're not FBA?
No, sir, I'm not.
Okay, I must be getting you confused with somebody else. Okay, where are you from?
Sir, I'm from Gabon, Africa.
You're from where?
I'm from Gabon, Africa.
Gabon, Africa?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where's that at?
Gabon, Africa is in central of Africa. Basically, we were colonized by France.
Population.
My accent. We speak French over there. Obviously, we were colonized by France, so the national language is French.
Okay, so what nation, what flag would you use?
Our flag is blue.
They have a flag, brother.
What country?
The country is called Gabon, Gabon. The flag color.
Okay, Gabon. Okay, all right.
Yeah, the flag
color. Brother, can you answer one quick question?
Yeah, sure.
This is just for the panel, and I hope it's information everyone would like to have. What is the population of Gabon? I'm familiar kind of with certain areas and regions, but not all of them. So I'm curious as to the size of the various nations that you all have?
I'm glad you asked that, and I don't mind sharing that information with you guys. Gabon is actually known as to be one of the smallest country in Africa for only having less than 3 million in population in the entire country.
I don't know why I thought you were saying a bone.
Oh
A
no,
bone Africa.
Gabon,
I
Gabon.
thought because
It's start with a G.
you know how they call Ethiopia and all that the Horn of Africa, you
Yeah.
know. So I thought you were trying to make a reference to a region in Africa.
Oh no, no,
I
no,
don't know
no, no.
why I wasn't hearing Gabon, Africa. I was hearing a bone. I don't.
Oh,
So
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
it was
Maybe.
no. It was just
Okay.
some miscommunication. I thought you were. I'm like, what country
Just
are you
missed it,
referring
brother. I got what you were saying. That's why he let me ride with it.
to? All right.
Okay.
Go on,
Okay.
please
So
continue with your
what's
statement.
yeah?
Okay.
What's up, bro?
All right. Little introduction.
Bro,
My
he
name
said
is.
somebody says, bro, you're lying. Nah, okay. Haters gotta hate. All right, go ahead.
No, no, I'm not lying.
No, I'm not saying you're lying.
No, no,
Bro,
I'm
I'm
not.
saying
I
the
don't
chat
mean
room is
you.
saying I'm
Whoever is
lying.
saying that, I just have to know I'm not lying. I mean, if I'm lying, they just can pull it up from Google. like like literally is over there. Gabon G
Ignore
A.
the chat. You gotta sometimes ignore
All right, it's spelled
that.
G A
Okay,
B O
you're
N. Do
from
your
Gabon. Okay.
research. Gabon is less than 3 million in population. Colonized by France, independent in 1960. We do speak French. Um, Yeah, and there's just a few Gabonese here. As far as United States goes, I think when we talk about African community, we are actually the smallest number as Africans in the United States, and the government, every government, I mean every party who have ever stepped in office in America know that is documented. We are not that many actually, so you guys can.
Okay, but yeah, for the second, because we got a lot of people want to speak
Okay,
and it's kind of late.
so
So for
I'm,
the
I'm
second
not
time,
gonna
what is what?
I'm not gonna lie. I've listened to the brother who comes from East Africa. I want to apologize on his behalf because I believe there's some of the stuff that he said that wasn't respectful. I want to apologize on his behalf. The other thing I want to talk about also, guys, is I really don't mean to disrespect anybody. I
Mhm.
just believe that we are. Or I look at it like almost a lot of hurtful people. Um, People who are out of hurt, nothing good comes out. What you guys, I'm sharing my experience because I don't mean to point fingers at anyone, and I will establish my argument. Number one, um, I came in America about 9 years ago. I never had any issue in the country either with, especially in the African American community, because I lived in New York for almost 5 years. I was living in the Bronx.
Mhm.
The part I was staying, I was usually dominated by African Americans. I was getting along with my brother and sister. I never had any problem with. A few times where I've encountered racism from my own people, I say people meaning black, the race,
Mhm.
because I know now there's a lot of division. And I'm trying to establish my first point is never once, brothers, I have taken a small portion of African Americans because I've encountered racism from my people and making a general opinion, such as, "Oh, you look like a slave." An African American told that. Few guys already told that many times in the Bronx. "Hey, you man, you have a lot of hair, you have nappy hair, you look like a slave." That comes from a black man like me. He's an African American.
One section, because what section,
The
sir? What
section
section
was
of the Bronx?
the Bronx. It was called Clinton Avenue. Clinton Avenue in the Bronx.
So they said because you have nappy hair, you look like a slave.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay.
So,
It was an
I
adult.
don't
It was an
believe him.
adult who said that to you.
uh, yeah,
Who was your
there was
friend?
all adult, almost the same age as mine. So
Who was a
Was it?
friend?
there was just guys in the neighborhood. Basically, how the Bronx is built. Basically, those I don't know. It looks like
Right.
What
old
So
age of
houses.
so
these
so I'm just
individuals
trying to get
One
the
were
minute.
saying
context of
this
the
One
to
minute,
you,
story.
y'all.
brother?
Hold on. Trying to get the context of the story, right? So you were just kind of just like walking down the street, and then a black American that I guess you can confirm is a black American somehow. A
Yes,
black American said that because you have nappy hair, you look like a slave just randomly.
I confirm. Oh, I won't say randomly. When you're in neighborhood, you kind of see someone once, twice, third. So they assume or they concluded that I live in the neighborhood, which is correct. So you see, and they could tell, guys. let's just be honest. We might, in front of white people, we might look the same, but I'm pretty sure when an African American
But
meets
okay,
an
but I
African,
get, brother, for the sake of time. Okay, so that happened, and you saying we're hurt. You said we're hurt, right?
no, I say I am. We.
You're hurt.
When I say we, I meant what I meant by that is African American. There's a history. Whatever happened, happened. In
Mhm.
Africa, we have our own history. Whatever happened to us, happened to us. I say we are hurt because we are like almost two people who have lived two different experiences. What I mean in America, I'm referring to slavery, and in Africa, I'm referring to colonization. So we made in America. Obviously, we came here, so this is not our home. We are immigrants. But
Mhm.
then there's many other issues. People, African Americans, are pointing fingers at
If
Africans.
for the sake
Africans are
for
pointing fingers at
going
other
forward,
Americans.
going hold on, going forward, because we're trying to retire the term African American. If you could just use the term Black American.
Okay,
All
I
right.
will respect that.
All right.
So Africans are pointing fingers on Black American. Black Americans are pointing fingers at Africans because
Hmm.
there's a lot of things that I heard. That's what I actually wanted to come up here and speak. And I would say point number one: we don't have food in Africa. We have nothing going on for ourselves. That's why we're here. Where is a lie? Guys, I cannot count. I work in the oil and gas industry back home. I was making a lot of money before I was coming to the US. And there's many like me. You guys need to understand that sometimes in life you live in a certain location, and for the sake of you want to live a different experience or you have ambitions, you decide to cross over to a different location. It might be Europe, it might be America, it might be Asia. There's a lot of
Okay,
African.
let's okay, and for the sake of time, I'm gonna say
Yes.
this: as you're saying that um, your experiences here, and I can't fact check you. I can't fact check you and say that that was wrong. So let's say, for the sake of argument, that was 100%. What you're saying is 100% exactly how it happened, right? And people say rude things to people. Let's okay. The issue isn't really about people being rude or impolite or even mean, okay, to other people, or saying mean things to other people. There are people who are coming over here who are literally causing economic and social issues for a group of people that's already been here. And I think, well, not I think, but this is what we're trying to articulate. It's less about, even though it is about people being disrespected and us being disrespected in our homeland, but it's more about the fact that a lot of you all are coming over here and we're seeing things politically and economically that you guys are doing that is of saboteur behavior and of backstabbing behavior.
Can you give me like two examples of
Okay,
what you just
I will give you examples. The task force in California that was supposed to be studying reparations. A lot of the Black Caucus are immigrants. A lot of the people are immigrants, first generation or direct immigrants, who are operating in the Black Caucus in California and in New York as well too. And what they're doing is they're putting tricky language in the reparations conversations that will eventually sabotage the reparations going forward. Either that, or they're completely stalling the bills and letting the bills not see the light of day. And we are seeing the fact that a lot of them are becoming impediments to reparations. We have the governor of Maryland, Wes Moore. He is an immigrant, okay, and he vetoed reparations. All right, but yet you see a whole bunch of stuff in Maryland, specific set asides in Maryland for immigrants. But when it comes to lineage-based reparations, he'll veto that. So we have that example. We also have examples of things going on. You can say socially, okay? Like, for instance, the brother Detroit, he came up and he was talking about Black Lives Matter and how we were protesting for George Floyd. And a lot of the people who were counter protesting what we were doing were immigrants. Okay, you had the Myron Gaines over there, you had the Candace Owens, you had the Brian Donalds, you had them come over here and they were saying things like, oh, actually it was fentanyl, or I don't know if I can say that. Actually, it wasn't the knee on his neck. Actually, it was this, and this. All right. And they're siding with the oppressor class as collaborators against police brutality or for police brutality. So you have different you have different issues from different avenues that we're dealing with, and we can go on the list. But you asked for two examples, I gave you two.
Yeah.
So this is beyond. You called me ugly, I called you ugly. I don't
Oh
like you, you
no.
don't like me. It's
Oh
just,
no.
it's way beyond that. It's way
All
more
right.
serious than that.
Listen, I understand what you're saying, and I cannot go against what you're saying because I know that to be a fact. But this is what you need to understand, brother. Right now in my own country is trying to get, I would say, probably like get rid of a nationality who are doing certain things, have been doing certain things for years, infiltrating our economy, doing all kind of things. Lebanese have been in control of our economy for decades, and so Gabonese are trying to solve that problem. What I'm trying to say here, in regards to what you just said, is that white people, and I want to believe not all of them, we're always trying to find ways to divide black people.
Well, no, the thing is that what we've understand is that there's a certain amount of, you're gonna have to keep your camera off.
Moment.
You
Yeah,
don't.
keep your camera off. Thank you.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. 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 There's a certain amount of division. Let's be honest. That's very necessary. And this isn't what's going on right now as far as delineation. This is not about YT people. Okay. This is not about that, and this is not about what they're doing. They have no say so in this.
Okay.
This is about what we need to do. All right.
Okay.
So with that being said, we're gonna move on to the next speaker.
Say this really fast, Afro. So there's a lady, but I got her out of here. She keeps bringing up Kobo and unalive children in Congo. People from the Congo are asking where are the marches and stuff. So I want to tell the Africans, right? Y'all are migrating out and leave your people at home. It is your responsibility to return to that continent or institute your own marches. Black Americans have a lot going on, and we have championed the diaspora. We do not condone what's happening over there, but at the same time, it's y'all fight. And instead of being over here bothering us, lying about what we've called y'all during high school or something, y'all need to
Okay.
be focusing yourself to the Congo,
That's the
okay?
funny part.
And instead of interrupting us, were you in a
Well,
single man shelter or working for one? You said Clinton Avenue, right? And there's certain things Black Americans just don't play about, and slavery is one. And since you were fairly new here, you don't understand the Caribbean walk around here using our vernacular and dressing like our men do too. So maybe next time know who you're speaking to, because Black Americans don't play them games about our ancestors. And I'm Bronx born and raised. So maybe it was a class of people you was around and not a foundational Black American. And don't even answer me back. You go ahead, Afro.
Yeah, we're gonna move on. We got a lot of people who want to speak, and a lot of people haven't spoken yet. So let's get to. Let me see. I don't know. Dylan,
Hi, hi guys.
how you
Yes,
doing?
yeah, I'm doing good. How are you?
We're good. How you doing?
I'm
And are
good.
you FBA?
No, no, I'm not. I'm not.
Where are you from?
I'm from Rwanda.
Rwanda. All
Yeah,
right.
yes, yeah,
What's on your mind?
yes. So I just came in to add some nuance a bit, and
Can you speak up a little bit? It's a
yeah.
little hard to hear you.
Can you hear me? Yeah,
Better now. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I just came to add some nuance because there's a lot of things some Africans are saying that very they're not educated a lot, and I'm very ashamed of them. Like I hate when they say that we came here and we're more successful than Black Americans, but that leaves a lot of context. Like I'm an immigrant myself, so I know how the immigration process works. If you want to immigrate to America, there's so many specific details you need. Like they will check your status and everything. So usually, the Africans who will come in America will be the 1%. Sometimes the refugees, but will be the 1%. So it's not really fair to compare what the Africans come here and then get college degrees to Black Americans. If they would accept everybody, then that would be a fair comparison, and you'd see it would be the same. Actually, Black Americans might succeed more, will be more than Africans. But I just wanted to add context to that when Africans say that they're more successful in this country and such. And then on the other side too, I would say the reason why a lot of Africans go there is because I think when I looked at the stats, Africans are actually the least people who immigrate out of the continent. I think it's in America, the 3% of immigrants are Africans.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah. So
Roughly.
the least likely to immigrate out of Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the immigration, a lot of the reason, like America is the powerhouse of the world, and I know Black Americans build the country. They're a very critical role in building the country, and a lot of the elites in America, or how the American economy works. That's my opinion. I think you guys might disagree, but I think it depends on countries in Africa being, let's say, poor, right? The way the economy works, let's say the Congo situation, which is a sad situation that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons why it's happening is because, Congo has, like, I think 20 trillion of, like, minerals riches. That's the highest in the world in minerals. And if you want what they have, you want it cheap, right? So it's kind of the Middle East with oil, same thing. You have to finance. You have to finance wars and things like that. So it's in the benefit of wars happening in Congo, everything, to America, because you want those minerals cheap.
Listen, brother, I don't mean to cut you off because I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yes.
What I want you to understand is that the operation of the United States government and the actions that they take, quote unquote, on behalf of American citizens has very little to do with what the citizens of a particular culture believe.
That is true. I
The
agree.
government is going to operate as a government operates.
That's true.
And if it means somebody's going to have to take a black eye,
Yes.
and I can cover it up, sure, no problem.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the idea of whether or not the United States government is going to operate, you cannot attribute the government's actions,
Brother. Yep.
particularly to black people.
Yeah.
I get it that the government has done that.
Okay, we're gonna let him finish because I want to respond to what he has to say.
Yeah. I wasn't blaming it on black. I was just trying to explain, like, some people wonder why are they coming here. So I was just trying to add some nuance to that. But I don't think it's Black Americans' fault, because the government elites, most of them, I don't think they're Black Americans. It's probably the white elite doing that.
Okay, let me speak on a couple of things you said.
Mhm.
The first thing you said is absolutely true. Okay, there's a vetting process for immigrants to come over here.
Mhm.
So the narrative that y'all are coming over here with $5 and y'all coming over here and getting it out the mud is very incorrect.
Yeah,
that's
that's
very
true.
incorrect.
That's
A
true.
lot of you guys are coming over here with degrees. A lot of you guys are coming over here with all of these things, and and there are refugees who come over here, and the refugees don't tend to do that well. So it's not about the culture; it's about the fact that you guys pretty much have a certain status prior to coming here.
Yeah, it's a class thing.
Correct. Now
Class
the
thing,
situation. Hold on. The situation with the Congo. The situation with the Congo is as unfortunate as that is. Why the situation is like this, and then I'm going to say this. I want you to think about it, and then we're going to move on. The situation with the Congo is like that, and that's because the neighboring countries don't care. We care more. I want you to think about it. Hold on, listen. Just hear me out. In America, we care more and we voice more about the situation going on in the Congo than their neighboring countries do. There's more anger and outrage about what's going on in the Congo than other African nations have about what's going on in the Congo. That's the truth. Because if other African nations cared about what's going on in the Congo, they would do what they can to help the Congo. But you don't have any other African nations. You don't, and nobody can lie. You don't have any other African nations that are protesting and fighting on behalf of the Congo. Because of other African nations, with all the 54 countries they have, and all the minerals and resources and the people that they have, if they were to say, you know what was going on in the Congo is wrong, and we're going to stand up for the Congo, it would end overnight. But the issue is that they don't care about what's going on in the Congo. We care more about what's going on in the Congo over here. You hear more about it from here than you do about other African nations. Okay? Because there's a lot of tribalism. And it's a lot of, if it's not happening to me, I don't care, that goes on in Africa. It's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. And that is the unfortunate reality of the situation. Y'all could fix the problem overnight, but it's a psychological issue first that y'all got to break. It's a psychological division that y'all have to break. That it doesn't matter how many resources or people y'all have. If y'all have that psychological colonized mindset, y'all just going to get exploited to the end of time. And there's nothing we can do to save y'all, because it's you guys who have to fix your problem. You know?
Yeah. You're right. You're right on most of what you said, actually.
But we're going to move on, because I do want to kind of circle this back. We allowed this to divert from the actual subject here. So I kind of want to circle this back about the subject when it comes to delineation. But yeah, if y'all want to fix the Congo, that's how you do it. So you would need to talk to other Africans about the Congo and say, hey, you know what? We're not doing enough and saying enough about the Congo. You all, I'm seeing the whole diaspora, whether you're from the Caribbean, whether you're from Africa, whether you're from the damn UK, talking about what we got going on in America and how we believe in American exceptionalism and how we think we the main characters. Y'all all talking about what we got going on in America. And yet the homelands of where you guys are from, your nation of origin is being decimated and pillaged right now.
We rotate the panel. I saw Halo come in. I don't know if she's gonna request up, but I must tell y'all this. Y'all shouldn't be asking Black Americans for anything. We've done enough. Y'all have benefited from every civil right and liberty that we fought for. And if you say anything about one lone African or one lone Jamaican or other Caribbean coming here, they did not carry the movement on their back. You know what you're missing? You're missing our elders. You're missing our ancestors who were actually the people that were getting sprayed with water hoses and stuff like that. That's what y'all not learning about. So yeah, we have our great leaders, right? But y'all don't know that, like, the Deacons of Defense was battling in Louisiana, the Triple K and stuff. There are some things y'all just don't know. One thing Black Americans do know, that if you want to change the condition of your country, you stay there, you fight back, and you stop blaming everybody else for your problems, right? So now you're here after denigrating us and our ancestors for the past couple of years, because we know from Clubhouse y'all were hosting fake slave auctions. Y'all disrespect to us has been going on for years. And now you want to sit here and cry about the Congo? Y'all get over there and help the Congo. We don't owe y'all nothing, as disrespectful as y'all are. Now, we're sorry for the little children, but the adults need to step up and stop looking for Black Americans who y'all say ain't got no culture and we don't know how to do this and that, and we ain't nothing but children of slaves to help out. Let's start a protest. Y'all ain't even protesting over here. Do something for us to say, wow, they stepping up their game. Let us help them. Right now, we don't want to help y'all. We setting a lot of things out, honey, and that's why y'all over here in our panels talking about this and talking about that to get our attention to help y'all, because don't nothing shake unless a Black American is involved in it. And that's why y'all are failing now, because y'all want too busy blaming everybody else for y'all problems. Stop selling your own people out and you won't have these issues.
All right, we're gonna move on. Let's get to cousin Uncle Grampy.
Hey, brother,
Yeah,
I
we're definitely
appreciate
gonna
it.
have to
How you doing today? I mean, I try not to. I only try and bring a different view of time to some of these people. I'm gonna try and get off of this and get to the main topic as quick as I can. I was on a panel the other day with some young Africans, and they were just having an issue with the idea of FBA. This woman brought up the idea of, so what you're saying, she was insistent in her position, I must say this, in that if you go all the way back, you telling me there's no African lineage. That don't make no sense. So ain't no sense in trying to delineate from what Africa is and what America is, and who was on America and who was on Africa. Ain't no sense in doing that, because if you go all the way back there, and I had to finally explain to them, listen, do you understand that when you take a position or a thought process like that, you've eliminated every black accomplishment in the United States of America, and you all want us to say, okay, yeah, we're going to agree with that, and when we say we're not, you're taken aback. But I get it from my perspective, because I have a little bit more time than some on the panel. I've watched the continent evolve over time. I haven't seen anything that I would be trustworthy in on the continent until these last two cats came up, Traore and Malema. If you are not rocking in the direction that they're rocking with on your continent, how am I supposed to respect you? How am I supposed to value your position and your view? But that's another issue. Now, to get back to the Amanda Seals thing, because I know that's what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with delineation. And if you can tell, I'm not saying anything against anyone who is in America in this regard. Be you small hat, Italian, whatever, yada, 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 yada. I do not care. What I know as history and statistical data shows us, as Dr. Claude Anderson has pointed out, 98% of black people in America today were here before 98% of all other Americans today. That's how that works. We're a nation of immigrants, and when we tell them we're not immigrants, they're like, oh my God, how could you say that? You're so wrong. I cannot accept this argument from these people whom I've watched barely get the proper education, let alone the backbone to fight, as FBA has, being in the heart of the beast. I'll go back to my one simple analogy, and I'm going to close this out. When it comes to delineation, our brothers and sisters from the continent must learn that they have to sit in the back of the pew. They cannot run up to the pulpit and start preaching to the congregation. Learn the lessons before you attempt to speak on behalf of the people. They are running in and thinking that they have the right to do that. And we take great offense at that at this point. How dare you? What gall of you? And as I said, I'm going to go on and land it right there. If you want to drop me, man, I appreciate the time. Thank you, BX. You know I love you, sweetie. Rock on. I try and be
Cousin.
I try and be gentle as I can with my words, because again, the idea of FBA, first off, let's put this one more thing. There is nothing that our African brothers and sisters have that FBA is jealous or envious of.
Real talk.
So this idea that somehow FBA is a hate group because they are jealous, give me something to be jealous of.
Yep.
Now, I don't say that disrespectfully. I'm just calling it out. Don't sit your butt down in the back pew and grab the book.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Appreciate that. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Let's get
Appreciate that, man. Y'all have a good one.
you too. You have a good one, brother. We'll get to real man energy, and then we'll get to BSGN, and then we'll get to I don't know how do you Denamus, if that's how you pronounce. I hope that. Okay. But real man energy, you got it, brother.
What's up, Afro? What's up, BX? Yeah, I've watched the full video of that right there, and on the title of that video, they titled it one extremist versus 20 conservative, which is funny because they both work for the same team in the background. You know, Amanda Seals, she's been caping for the Democrats for forever, speaking for immigrants, making sure immigrants got whatever they need, and then telling black people need to shut up and sit down and get behind black women and all this other crap. You know, and when you go back and look at that full video, all they're doing is regurgitating the same old talking points that's regurgitated online all day. And then Amanda Seals, what she does is try to steal FBA talking points as if she's bringing something new to the table, as if she's doing something revolutionary. This is what Amanda Seals is attempting, which is just called trying to rebrand herself. You know, as that white T dude that called up talking about you need to rebrand like they did affirmative action to DEI. It's all a game. You know, this is just for just pretty much clicks and views. Both sides are acting. Both sides are working for the same team. Both sides are never going to do anything for FBA, period. You know, and it's just funny to me, you know, but the dude from Angola, you know, that's all that is just another paid dangle actor that used the same talking points as all these other dangle foreigners on dangle line. You know, but this is just Amanda Seals trying to rebrand herself. And what she don't understand is, ma'am, this is the age of receipts and videos. You couldn't rebrand yourself if you tried. You couldn't come back to the house even if you tried, because you have spent years working against the so-called people you claim you advocate for. You know,
She has a great reputation.
she has a what?
For the most part, her career and her message has been the same throughout her whole career. Her representation for Black people has never wavered, regardless of what y'all talking about.
I
That's
don't think he landed. Please stay on mute. Go
that's true.
ahead, real
When
man
when
energy.
has
Go
she?
ahead,
I didn't
finish.
even snack. I
I'm
stood up
trying to
there
figure out
looking
when
back
has
like,
she.
what's
You
going
know what
on?
I'm saying?
See this?
No,
So
no,
Amanda
because
Seals.
she
I'm
got
trying to.
probably got immigrant in her
Hey,
background, or
check
she's a
this out,
That's
Democrat
Afro.
cool,
shield.
but come on now, let's keep some civility.
Let them
Afro.
bang.
See,
Hey,
that's
wait a
that's
minute.
why I had to let BX. That's why BX is here, so I can get something to eat real quick, and BX hold the room down.
What we looked
But
at on that video was the equivalency of good cop, bad cop. Both of them want to put you behind bars. The only difference they trying to do is all they're arguing about is as the method as they do it. They don't care about who hold. They want to hold the whip just as bad as the other side does. You know what I'm saying? That's all this is debate about. Amanda Seals never did nothing. Amanda Seals just went to school, been dangled indoctrinated, and now she so-called speaks for black people when in all actuality she don't care for black people. She plays black, she talks black, she gives a lot of commotion, a lot of emotion, but when it comes to laws and policies, she won't fight for none. Okay, and that's just how it is, man. I'm tired of all these performative so-called blackity black dangle people that don't have no receipts, don't have no track record, don't have nothing. All they show is just a whole bunch of words and fluff, and then you got retards like the one on the bottom right talking some she did so much
you
more.
can't say that. You cannot say that on TikTok.
Oh, sorry about that, Afro. But yeah, this is the day and age we live in. When people are they think activism is just something where you get up and you make a lot of noise, you just talk a lot of crap, but nothing gets put down on paper, nothing gets signed, no change ever really happens. You know, so that's all I got to say. I'm gonna stop right there. Go ahead, Miss BX.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Appreciate you,
I
real
don't want the
man.
live to. I don't want them to say anything because you said that. So I'm gonna drop you. I'm not saying you can't come back up, but just to protect the live. All right, because they gonna trip. Um,
Brought down a lot before
yeah,
because of that
I've seen
word.
them bring down lives for less. So yeah, I already know how they get down.
Yeah.
Now, okay. This is a little bit out of order, but since you were mentioned, I'm gonna let you go ahead and you said the foreign girl, the foreign one. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and respond to what you had to say, to what he had to say.
I want to say Black people are not a monolith.
That's true.
if you're a highly melanated person or you have any type of melanin from you, even if your mother was white or your dad was white and your mama black and your daddy black, you biracial, it don't matter where they're from, you have melanin in you. The issue is not whether you're foundationally black or white.
Ethnic group?
I was about to ask. If we're not a monolith,
Right.
I agree. So where are you from?
I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from New York.
Okay, where's your lineage
No.
from? Where's your
Like,
lineage
bring
from?
that down. Brooklyn don't make you an expert on anything. What is your background, your ethnic background? Who raised you? Brooklyn ain't raised you.
Speak now? Okay.
Yeah,
My mother's Jamaican. My mother's mother's from
Exactly.
Jamaica. They came over here in the 70s. My father is
So you're
Guyanese.
Jamaican
Yes,
American.
I'm Jamaican
Thank you.
American. My whatever you look up on my ethnicity, it says African American because I was born in America. That doesn't make me a
Now we
foundationally
got a
Black
problem.
American.
What you're
Okay, hold on.
doing is committing erasure of my ethnic group,
Okay,
right?
hold on.
And I want you to
BX,
listen.
let her.
Hold on, everybody. I want you to listen to learn something, ma'am, okay? So Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, me speaking right now, I descend from those who were enslaved on this land. That's not to diminish Jamaican and the slavery that they went through, right? But also those who descend from this land, that lineage are a reclassified people. Two of our reclassifications are African American and Black American. It's nothing wrong with you asserting on paper that you are a Jamaican American or a Caribbean American. When you do that, ma'am, you distort and you muddy the waters for us. You don't have the lineage ties here if you don't
Why
have a
do we not have
foundational Black
as many
American
likes? I just
parent.
looked at the likes. Y'all tap the screen. What's going on? We got 300 people up in here.
Yes.
What y'all
So
doing?
I hope you understand that, ma'am. That's a form of erasure to us. And activists, before you go, because I see you off your mic, we are securing wins to have y'all out of our box. We are disaggregating that number, but in the meantime, y'all should have been othering yourselves, because y'all not us.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry you
You're
feel like
saying that
that,
black people.
but
Hold
I
on,
was
ma'am.
saying melanated people. What has being foundationally Black
No,
or
no. Before you, no,
enslaved?
no, no, no,
Ma'am,
ma'am. Hold on, hold on.
ma'am,
Let me talk to her. Let me talk to her,
Phil, this is
ma'am.
facts. I'll
When you
land.
came up here and you wanted something, you came up here because you saw the room, you clicked it, and then you requested to speak. So you requested to speak for what reason, ma'am? Before the real man energy said anything, why? What was your original stance? What was your original talking point? Why you requested to speak?
Can you give me the definition of delineating? Because I'm trying to figure out why you're trying to delineate me from America when I grew up in America. You can't tell me I'm not foundationally
Oh,
And
Black.
your
man. Okay,
Me
you're
and my
asking.
nationality.
ancestors
Let
did
me
not go through
hold
the
on.
same
Hold on,
trials and tribulations your ancestors went through.
ma'am.
We're just
See,
Okay,
there you
okay.
go
You're
with that
asking. Here's the
Brooklyn
thing.
attitude as
You're
if you really
asking.
Brooklyn. You Jamaican, honey. Act like it.
Okay.
Have some decorum about yourself.
Hold on. You're asking a question and then you're going on and on and on and on and on and on. You're asking why are we delineating. Your behavior is kind of verifying why there's a necessity to delineate. His behavior verifies why there was a necessity to delineate. We've had some other tethers on the panel and their behavior verifies our necessity to delineate. Okay. And the thing is, man, hold on. Here's the thing: you're already delineating. Do you not understand that?
no. I'm trying to
You have.
understand. I asked you for the definition of that.
Oh, you're okay. The definition of delineating is technically verifying and specifying that two things are not the same. Okay, so what we're saying is that you are not the same as our lineage. That is what it is. That is what we're doing, and you guys are proving to us why we need to do that.
You want me to tell you what
They
only
said
and,
she's
thing?
and,
from New
and here's
York,
the ironic
because New
thing
York
about
is a
it.
problem.
The ironic thing about it,
Oh,
ma'am.
you must be
The
from the South.
ironic stop it. The
I
ironic
must
thing
be from
about
the
it.
South. You don't get to speak on the South,
Okay,
honey. I'm New York born and raised, and it's the New York Caribbeans that are causing a problem in our government. And y'all actually tried to
okay.
delineate
So what
first.
have
So
you and
where's
There.
your guys?
FBA?
Stop, everybody, stop it. Okay. What's interesting about this is that you're already delineating because the fact that you have the foreigner, okay, the fact that you have the foreigner in your bio or in your name shows that you do not see yourself as everybody else, shows that you see yourself as an other. Okay. By definition, your name in and of itself shows that you see yourself as something different. Okay. So don't you see yourself as something different when it's convenient for you. And now when we say, okay, you're all different, then now you want to come up here and be all like, why are you delineating me? Don't we go through the same struggle? Apparently to you, you feel like you're a foreigner. That's your name. Your name is the foreigner one. So don't ask me about why we delineating. We just getting on the same type of time y'all getting on.
All right. I understand what you're saying, but the foreign, that can mean anything. And I
No, it
mean,
can't.
like,
No. It can't. What are you talking
it
about?
can. It doesn't have to be a nation or a country that
Ma'am,
I'm
the
foreign
foreign,
from.
yeah,
I'm foreign from
ma'am,
this
stop.
world. I'm foreign from outer
Ma'am, okay,
space.
what we're not gonna do, young lady, we're not gonna do that. Okay? We're not gonna do that. Because you just said your parents are not from here. So you are a foreigner. Your name is the foreign.
But I'm from here, so that don't make me
Ma'am, your
foundationally
lineage is
black.
not from here. So you're not really from here. No.
The only thing that's separating foundationally black enslaved descendants from Caribbean descendants is water. And the fact that
And that water is
Let
very
me tell
important.
you what.
That
Hold on.
water is very important. And our history is, first off,
Very
our history is not the same. Y'all keep making it seem like the
exactly
only difference. No, it's a lot of big differences. But if you say the only thing that separates us is water, that's the only thing that
right.
separates a lot of people in the world is water. All
And
right.
to
And
to
we're
Now
to
let
dealing
me
make
with
no
her
no
that.
no
to,
no
to
no
make
no
her
no
statement,
hold on y'all. So I need you to tone it down and I need you to listen to this about the Caribbeans, especially in Brooklyn, okay? I'm gonna take it to the government. We're gonna come out of the community because I can't have a relationship with a Jamaican who gets it, right? Because I do have friends who are Jamaican. So here we go. You have Yvette Clark. Yvette Clark advocates for the Caribbean. Very hard body, if you want to talk New York lingo. What she does is she advocates and she secures wins specifically for the Caribbean, right? When it comes to Black Americans now, she doesn't secure any wins for foundational Black Americans, but we built this land. It doesn't matter if your family migrated here in 1970. Mine was enslaved in New York since 1750, right? And then in 1825, my fifth great granny died. So unalive, sorry. So here's the issue with the Caribbeans now, specifically. When they were allowed to migrate here, what they did was they were able to buy homes that we weren't able to buy homes in, okay? And granted, they're going to take the homes. We understand that. But then when they were able to sell the homes, they didn't give a handout to the ones who made it possible for them to migrate here in the first place. So today, there's a disparity that does exist between Afro-Caribbeans and Black Americans in home ownership. So it's not that we were lazy, because my granny was a nurse. She worked multiple shifts and multiple jobs. So did my dad and my aunts and my elders and my parents. You get what I'm saying? It's certain things that y'all do that you may not be privy to, but it's happening. And it's from your people against mine. So now we're asking for the numbers to be disaggregated. And today's New York activists went to 50, you hear me? 50 Afro-descendant politicians and nonprofits to help us pass this bill. You know what 49 told him? That they will not do anything if they cannot be on the bill as getting some. Only one lady, a Guyanese lady, and I thought the Guyanese was, but the lady said that she would help. You know why? Because she was trying to delineate first 10 years before, and she couldn't get the bill passed. So was Yvette Clark. She was trying to delineate from my box too, years ago, and they couldn't get the bills passed. So now the Guyanese lady says, well, maybe if we back you guys, we'll get what we want. What's also happening is the Caribbean has things specifically for them because their lineage is Caribbean American. But Black Americans can't get that. But when y'all are marking our box and showing that y'all were born here, even though y'all are children of immigrants, you're getting something that rightfully my children should have. We're not saying that you don't have the
You should
right
be
to come
considering
here.
that for the
1
Chinese
minute,
immigrants, the
1 minute.
Japanese
Hold
immigrants, the
on.
Indian
Don't
immigrants, the
deflect.
We
Mexican
gonna
Don't
get to that,
immigrants.
deflect.
ma'am.
There she go. Don't deflect. Because, honey, I've been boycotting the Asians since 2016 when they put their hands on an
Let's
elder.
we don't
Okay, back to the Jamaicans. Please don't deflect, man, because I'm about that life. I do boycott. I boycott everybody. So here's the issue, right? I don't want to hear unity stories and living in New York. I want to know how you can show solidarity with foundational Black Americans, because everybody's talking a good game, but I'm looking at the lady who told the cops, don't unalive me. I'm a Jamaican, unalive a Black American. I'm looking at Jamaicans acting like they run New York and they don't run shit because their homelands are failing. I want to know how we could get your people out of our government or to switch where they're more fair and inclusive to foundational Black Americans. That's what I want to know. And don't deflect to the Asians, honey, because we got our eyes on them too.
All right, I'm glad you got that off your chest. I feel like at the end of the day, we're all Black people. What has being foundationally Black American afforded you? Marcus Garvey was a Jamaican immigrant, and he was bringing Black
Scammer.
people
He
together.
was a
He's one of the
scammer.
most influential.
He was a scammer.
Okay, before we do that,
Their personal life.
hold on, stop, hold on.
What he was trying to do for his people
Before
together.
I say stop. Okay? Because right now, what you're doing is strong arming and monopolizing the conversation. We have everybody else on the panel has not spoken yet. And there's been a back and forth with you, and we actually skipped the line. All right? So as of right now, since you're literally coming here to distract from the conversation, we're not even talking about the damn conversation anymore. That's enough. You talk about the only difference is us and water. Go to Jamaica. If we went to Jamaica right now and said there's the only difference between us is just some water, Jamaicans would say hell no. Jamaicans understand the difference, and you said your parents are from someplace else also. You said your parents are from someplace else. Go anywhere in the Caribbean and say we're pretty much the same. The only difference is water. They would kick you in your, okay. All right. But they would tell you no. Okay, and it would be very clear, abundantly clear, that they do not see everybody the same, because they don't see everybody the same in the Caribbean. You're acting like we don't know that, okay? And you're right now wasting our time, and we're done with it. It's over.
It's my turn now, boss.
We're gonna get to BSJN, unless BX you want to close your statement or finish your statement, and then we'll get to BX.
What I'm saying is nobody from the Caribbean, nobody from African nations, when I take it to the government and what's going on, and if they could possibly think about backing a foundational Black American or voting in our way or signing whatever needed to be signed, except for one, a Haitian guy. And I ain't hear from him since to get the link. Nobody is talking solutions with me, and nobody has a rebuttal, and they're always deflected to the Asians or this one. Honeys. I've been boycotting the Asians since 2016. The African boycotts directly impact the Korean hair vendors if you keep boycotting. We're knocking out two birds with one stone. I don't have to go to the Caribbean restaurants. I know how to cook the food. My children are half Caribbean. And that's why I go so hard against them, because I know there's some good ones. You're up here making your island look bad. I need solutions. Otherwise, we're just talking and the problem still exists. If you want to live in harmony with us, especially if you live in New York, and Brooklyn signifies gentrification, and when you see these tethers talking, they're usually from Brooklyn, y'all. When you see the Puerto Ricans, they're usually from the Bronx, y'all. And so when you get to Lion, I'm an old school Bronx chick, and I'm going to tell you what the real is. She ain't the real. Because she deflected. She couldn't even sit, and she didn't have a plausible response to what her people are in our government doing. Why? Because she's on board with it, because she benefits, her and her family. Mm-hmm. And the moment they align with us, they ain't going to benefit the same way. Because they can't double dip no more, y'all. They got to stick to their lineage. And some of them don't want that. I land.
That's it. The thing is that they benefit because we have the spigot that's been turned on for them, and the second we delineate, that's pushing them out the way. They're not able to cut the line anymore. So she's triggered. That's why she came up here to essentially troll, off topic. All right? Very off topic. But it was very telling. Even though she didn't want to, she's verifying, and all of them are doing, they're verifying the reason why we have to delineate. Okay?
That's one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite quotes, brother. I'm gonna say this to just interject right quick. Ain't no more cuts. No more cutting the line. We have no problem with any other subsect of society, American society, having a grievance against the government. I applaud you for your fight. But you need to take your butt to the back of the line. Okay? Ain't no more cuts.
Yes,
No
sir.
more cutting in line.
All right.
Period. Case closed. I love
BSJ,
that one though. I
go ahead.
do.
Me?
BSJN.
Thank you. Good evening, family, my brothers and sisters. I'm 60. I guess, I'm going to accept FBA, and I'm from Detroit, and I'm so happy my Michiganders were on here. But let me give you some real good love and a big piece of iron that's hot so you can use it because chastisement is good. And I love it when I hear you checking them left and right. Believe me, I'm proud of that. I listened to Frederick Douglass and his words. They have no idea, they have no clue. But this hot steel up against will knock some sense and let them know that you can't walk through this. Disrespect is not something we handle very well. So I am being much respectful and I'm giving much love. I'm older and I have been a revolutionist, and I am so happy to see and proud to see the work that you are doing. That's why I came on, to give love and to give guidance. See, I think in the 80s when they came to Detroit with Pan Africanism, see, we had festivals and they would come through and we would always be like, well, they're acting funny. Well, from the 80s to now, you can see the contributions that they've made, which has been nil in every community from the east to the west, from the north to the south. And they have come over here, and YT has let them play into that one check box, African American, which they are not, which means that we got to really sharpen up because if they're going to do the census, that has to be accurate. And I appreciate retiring African American. Perhaps we do need to claim our own name and stick to that argument and forget Jesse Jackson with coming with that because I was there when he came with that. So with a historical perspective and not to get off course because I've seen this take place in many different forums and I'm really shocked and appalled as much as our ancestors are at what is taking place today. So here's this really big piece of steel and it's extra hot with this long handle. I'm sure you're going to know what to do with that weapon. Check them and check them hard. Thank you for allowing me to come up.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. I appreciate you, Auntie. Let's get we don't even have 100,000 likes, y'all. Come on. What's going on? We 300 plus people in here deep in the middle of the night. Let's come on. Let's get at least 100,000. Come on now. Let's do that. I know we got some solid brothers and sisters in here. Come on. We're going to get 100,000 in the next couple minutes. Watch. I bet you. Thank you very much, though. Let's get to 99. Is that how you pronounce it?
So earlier I heard a person with Jamaican background like saying African American is their ethnicity. It's not their ethnicity, it's their nationality. Because she born and raised there. But her ethnicity is actually Caribbean. Like, as in she Caribbean background. So, what she was saying, she was kind of off, and she called herself a foreigner, and she kind of contradicting herself with her name by what she said earlier. So, I get what you all say to her and all that, but before I even say that, BX, the person who answered them, say Marcus Garvey is a scammer. That's what they do when a black person try to unite something, they always mark them as scammer. They always find something to bash them. For example, you have beautiful curly me, a young girl in Atlanta, a young black girl that opened a business. They classified her as scammer and take away her bank account and everything. That do not that do not mean she's a scammer. She was not a scammer. She was actually owning a business, but Wells Fargo lock her account and everything because it's a black-owned business and all that. So when it's something black and it's not benefiting the whites, they're gonna find something to sabotage. So that's what happened to Marcus Garvey. So anyway, what I come here for like when many people when they hear FBA, they feel like you all are what should I say? You all are excluding yourself from being like your ancestor and all that, which is wrong. As in black still mean that you can be African descent. As in it's not it doesn't it's a different word for people to understand to not get it confused, right? You get me?
Question?
No, I'm
One
asking
minute.
you, black is not a word for
Nine.
African, right?
Black
But
is a word for African? No.
No,
no.
it's not. One
Black is
minute.
a word
One
for
minute.
African descent.
FLE, can you? 1 minute. Can you explain to him that there was a go home Garvey movement? So it wasn't the white tea people trying to get rid of him. Our elders realized that he was scamming. That he sat with the likes of the Triple K. He sat with the likes of Margaret Sanger. He sat with the likes of Walter Plecker. Do you know who those people are? So when we say something, right, it's because we know the other side.
All right, you see what happened?
We
Marcus
are
Garvey.
not going to talk about that. Can we
Okay,
talk
okay.
about the subject? We have barely
I'm
talked about the
sorry,
subject the whole
Afro.
night.
Yeah, let's skip that. Um, so what I was saying, like black, in other words, it can mean African descent. So you don't have to use the word African because people get it confused because people are ignorant. So they're mixing you with other people who is basically not you. And also, delineation does mean boundaries, which is normal in every culture. Every culture they have boundaries. So it's nothing. FBA is nothing new. You all just standing up and be more um indicating, right, to
Do you think,
yourself.
okay, do you have a because I'm not 100% sure where you're going, to be honest.
No,
Okay.
I'm not going
So
anywhere.
do you have an issue with us delineating from the beginning?
No. I don't have an issue with
Okay.
that because that is just boundary, which is normal in every culture, every tribe, every nationality, etc. Um, the thing I have a problem with is people out here thinking you are saying you are pretendians and all those bullshit stereotype you have on your name. That's what I'm saying. So many times people have it to say you are xenophobic and all that, which is not. So I'm saying many times when you're starting a live like this, you all should explain like to the slower people in the back because they get it twisted. Because it's nothing new. For example, if you go, for example, in even Africa itself, for example, you have a tribe and the next tribe. They're both black, but they have they have a boundaries that they don't cross. Like, you know what I'm saying? But to unite, they put away the boundary and unite otherwise. But I'm just saying, like, when you come to yourself first, um, you have boundaries. Like, everybody have a boundaries.
Yep, and that's exactly what we're
And that's
doing.
what
So
delineation mean, right?
yeah, and we're just calling out that we're not all the same. We're not the same. Okay,
Yeah,
saying that.
which is
So
normal.
I'm gonna give you a good 10 seconds to close, and then we're gonna move on to the next speaker.
Yeah, which is normal, cause like as what I said, delineation means the action of indicating the exact position of a boundary. So you are basically saying that you're not being no xenophobia against nobody or anything. You just being basically saying, hey, I'm this and you are that. Just like a religion thing. Somebody can be a Muslim and somebody can be a Christian and they have a boundary. They're like, oh, I'm this and you that. But
All right. Yep.
but at the end of the day, we can be the same race, we can be everything else, but we have a boundary when it comes to certain things.
All right. Yep. All right. Yeah, that's true. You know,
Uh,
just yep. All right. Thank you.
I just want the people to understand that. That's all.
Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh. All right. So this is a Jamaican saying that no, this ain't xenophobia. So yep. All right. Let's get to young and childless.
You reach 118K, Afro.
All right. Thank y'all. Young and childless.
I want to start here. I'm 29. I have an anthropology major, and I think people what don't understand why history is so important is because the facts are already there. Most of these immigrants will come over here and say, I deserve this because America is the land for open opportunity. And that is a lie. America was never founded on the backs of immigrants. It was founded on the slaves. And that is why delineation is so important. Because if you separate people who have came here, let's just say Asians or the Latinos, Spanish, the Italians, especially the Italians, who have came here and have gotten something from the government, from whatever organization they have gotten from, or money or whatever. Black Americans and slaves have never had that opportunity. And that is the difference on why history is so important. Because everybody in the world knows that Black Americans founded this. Slaves were the foundation for building America. We were the blueprint for how America grew as a nation, became the powerhouse it is today. So when they come over here and they demand resources, they demand equal opportunity, they demand everything that they do not have from where they are from, it takes away from the people that we have here because we are still struggling. And that is a part of where people don't understand. Black history is the American history. This country would not be here without Black people. And until they realize that, until they actually understand that we are the foundation, they will never have the equal opportunity that they believe that they think that they have. Because until everyone is equal, and we don't even have to be equal, until we are given ours first, they're never going to consider someone that wasn't even considered in the first place to have anything.
And this is what we're saying, the whole thing about the system of white supremacy, or whatever the case is. It can't we have to dismantle it and replace it with a system of justice. They want freedom over the natives. They want to have more freedom and more ability to, I guess, live in a free life over the people that built this country. The people
And not
that
even
built this
that,
country,
the natives already have gotten what they have gotten.
yeah, so-called, they're $5.
Exactly. They've
$5.
already made a deal with the devil that they can never repair from because they've already taken the deal. And that is what separates for us from the natives and everybody else. And that is why they do not ever want to give us reparations, because they know exactly what reparations possibly will do, because they have given the natives literally pennies from what they could have gotten.
You're right. They made a deal with the devil, and now they're suffering for it. A lot of them, to be honest, if you understand the doll's roles, a lot of them have been colonized prior to making that deal, which is why they were so eager to damn sign treaties and stuff like that with them. And that's the difference between us and them. Okay, and this is why they're not going to be able to come over here and have this success, because first, they're not owed anything. And they have to stop thinking that and stop believing that. And we have to stop enabling that. They're not owed anything. All right. Just the same way they wouldn't let us feel entitled to anything in their homeland ever. We can't go anywhere in the world and feel entitled to anybody's resources. We got to come with the bag. We got to come with good credit score, and we got to buy at full price everything. We ain't getting no discount. We ain't getting no leeway. We ain't getting no extension. We ain't getting no nothing. And yet they come over here and they want to reap benefits as if they have some type of entitlement to something that the builders of the nation don't even have.
The reason why they do that is because if these systems weren't in place for Americans to have what they needed, they would not be able to sustain the system. The reason why they allow these immigrants to come in here and have all of these resources is to dismantle where Black people need to be. They have now placed immigrants into a place where they feel like they can do better than us because they can do a little bit better than where they came from. And that is the difference. They're not doing anything grand on any scale. They're just doing better than where they came from.
Thank you. I'm so glad you said that. Because they will come over here and make it seem like they living in penthouses and they pull up in Rolls Royces and Bugattis and they make it seem like they got pockets full of money. They're doing okay. They're doing better than where they were from. They're doing better than the condition of their homeland. Yeah, but over here that's called average. Turning on the sink and water flowing out is called average. It's called the bare minimum, to be honest. Okay, switching a light and then the lights turn on and the room is bright, that's called doing average. Okay, that's called the bare minimum, and they see our average as something that's beyond what they've done. Okay, so they're coming over here like, oh my God, we've made it. No, AC is nothing new to us. Neither is having a running refrigerator. Okay, and I'm not saying this to be mean or disparaging or hateful. I'm saying this to be very mature and very for real, because they're coming over here and they're acting like they're doing something phenomenal, groundbreaking. And then when you follow up with questions and you say, okay, well, what are you guys doing that has not been done before you and is not also being done by Black Americans right now? They are not doing anything. They say, we're coming over here being doctors. Been that. Who's off the mic? Fly. There's
Yes.
background noise in your microphone. Okay. They're not coming over here doing anything new. They're not coming over, to be very honest. We've made historic, groundbreaking achievements in this country that's moved the needle forward for America and for the world. They haven't. They're doing well for themselves and maybe their own small little families. No disrespect, not hating, but they're not out here inventing world-breaking things and changing the world like we've changed it. So actually, they're still a few points behind. And somebody else said something too. A lot of them, they're sending their best over here. It's not the average. They're not pulling names out of a damn hat and saying, okay, your family can come over here. They're sending their doctors. They're sending their business people. They're sending their nurses. They're sending their best. Okay. If we sent our best anywhere in the world, we're whooping everybody. Hands down. There's no competition.
Now, not to even be for America like that, but 10 toes down, we got you.
Oh, we whooping everybody else. I mean, I'm talking about we would embarrass the hell out of everywhere. Anywhere we went to, we send our best. Because to be honest, our average is kind of on par with their best. If we gonna go there, their best is about our average.
Taking names
You
and
send
cashing
our
checks.
best, it's over.
Cashing Trump checks.
It's over. But thank you, sis. Appreciate it. What state do you live in, if you don't mind me asking?
You know what? I don't want to answer that. No offense.
Okay. Because the way you were speaking sounds familiar, and I didn't want to
My father's side is from Mississippi. My mother's side is from Ohio.
Okay, because my family's also from Mississippi as well too, so that's why. Okay. All right. Shout out to the Mississippi family. Let's get to you've been waiting for a minute. Person Denzimus.
Hello.
How you doing?
Nice to finally speak to you. I just want to say with this whole delineation thing, I think it is a godsend. I think this is the best thing we could have ever done because, what else are we supposed to do when we have these groups from other countries coming over here, getting into politics, undermining us? On top of that, online, I'm pretty sure you and other FBAs, by the way, I forgot to say, My father's side of the family is from Mississippi. My mother's side of the family is from Augusta, Georgia. So, but
Shout out to
anyway,
Mississippi again.
yes, sir.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Shout out to Mississippi. But anyway, I hope we didn't forget that just a few months or years ago, a lot of these immigrant groups were talking mad-ish about how they were talking mad-ish in Mr. Nasheed's Twitter spaces and your Twitter spaces about how we ain't this and we ain't that, and while trying to uplift their culture, meanwhile they have to chase hyenas to feed their family for an entire week. So I don't want to hear it no more. I really don't want to hear it. Like I have respect for Caribbean people and African people on an individualistic level, but as a collective, whatever they had back in their countries, it couldn't have been that dang good because they never ever go back. Never. All they do as a collective is come over here, whine to us, and no disrespect to the ladies in the room, but they whine like females. Don't nobody want to hear that. We are the only group on this planet, however dysfunctional we may be, that have created something that's worth a damn to come to. Because if they did, they would not be here. They would not be here at all.
That's true. That's very true. They're
And that's
only
pretty
coming
much
here because we opened the door for. We fought for the door to be open for them. Okay.
Exactly. And lastly, I don't want to hear nothing about I don't want to hear nothing about their so-called Marcus Garvey or any other person that they allege helped Black Americans, because they don't teach this stuff in their schools, as far as I know. They don't teach nothing about Marcus Garvey or any other famous person that I can't even think of. As a matter of fact, I've asked some of these other groups to name a famous person from your group. I've asked Caribbeans. All I get is Marcus Garvey or Bob Marley. I do not even know any really famous Africans like that. It's mainly us who have the icons. And that's another reason why I think they hate us, because we are like the trendsetters of the world. When you think of Black people, you think of us. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, I want to say this. Another reason why I'm glad that we're delineating is, I really think we sometimes underestimate how much these people have a disdain for us. Like, I truly do believe if they had the chance to, they would try to unalive our entire group. That's what I feel like they truly want to get to. But fortunately, thank goodness we've caught them. We've delineated, we've self-identified the issue, and we are just doing what we need to do. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So yeah, but before I go, lastly, I'm gonna just say this: somebody needs to get the musty tether some root work. But that's it. Peace.
That's true. That's true. Thank you very much. Let's get to mankind.
Oh man, appreciate you guys. I guess first I just say I'm kind of blown away by everything I'm hearing, and I had no idea all of this was going on, and to this extent. Delineation, I hear you guys. I guess I'll give my perspective on it. This is a new concept to me, so I'm trying to understand the delineation with the FBA and all of that. Here's just my watch out. I hear you guys. I understand. You guys have probably heard this before. Just be careful as you delineate. You don't let that divide you, because delineate means I'm going to draw a line that separates us. Draw a line between us, and that is dividing, and divide and conquer is a strategy that YT people have used again and again, both in colonization and here, dividing Black families in the US over time, trying to weaken us. And we are better together if we can come together and support one another. But what I hear you guys saying is, well, they don't come and support us. I'll tell you my background real quick. I don't know what you guys classify me as. I was born in Florida. My father is African from Gabon, where the dude Freddie said he was from. My mother is white, YT. So I don't know. And I grew up in the hoods, and I made it out the hood. And I'm gonna tell you, YT people don't treat me no different than y'all, and neither did the Black mothers that treated us all, and raised us all in the hood. My father wasn't around in my life when I grew up. So, folks identify me as Black American or previously African American, and they don't treat me no different as you guys. They don't, when I go in for a job
Now, when
interview
you
or
say
whatever it
that,
is,
you mean as far as like being pulled over by the police and stuff?
that too. But going in for a job or whatever it is, when they see me walk into a room and hear me speak, they don't care if my father came from Africa in 1960 or if he came in here in 1860. They're gonna treat us all the same. And I haven't treated, and there was no delineation
That's
between
not
us
true.
growing up. Now, what I would say, hold on. When I say, you got to let me qualify that. There was no delineation between me and my friends. We didn't treat each other differently because my father was African. And I'll tell you, I look out for them dudes still to this day. I didn't get a leg up because my father was African. I had to hustle, I had to grind, I had to get it. Nobody gave nothing to me, and it wasn't easy. And I still look for the dudes that didn't get out the hood. I still look out for them. And then let me say this: I raised $100,000 3 years ago to get our people, our young Black Americans, out doing new sports, doing snow sports. I take 100 kids out for 6 weeks every year, introduce them to snow sports, all expenses paid. Try to get as many of our Black Americans. I don't go look for Africans or FBAs or. I'm trying to get people out there,
Now,
broaden their
for the sake
horizon.
of time,
Oh God.
though, for the sake of time, though, you're asking and you're saying that you don't want us to delineate too far, pretty much, right? You don't want us to do that too much. Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm
So
cautioning. I'm saying be
see?
careful.
Okay, I know. Okay, you do see delineation as something that's necessary, right?
No, I wouldn't even call it delineation. I would call it differentiation because you have the same lineage. Just at some point, you diverged, and some of y'all diverged in the 1600s, some in the 1700s, some in the 1800s.
No. Well,
But
the thing is that if we diverge, then that would mean we would have an ethnogenesis, right? So because of our ethnogenesis, we would be of a different lineage. You understand? The same way that Jamaicans and Haitians are of a different lineage. You understand?
Let me
if
ask you
we all,
something.
Hold
Let me
on.
ask you
Do you
something.
understand what I'm saying? So
I hear what you're saying, but we all go
hold
back to
on,
this.
before we go, because I appreciate the fact that you're being calm, but the thing is that because we haven't had that, most of the tethers come up here and they've been just tripping. But okay, you're being civil, so we're having a conversation. I'm gonna let you ask your question. Just give me a second. The thing is that every time we have the conversation about delineation, y'all come up here, and I'm saying you as somebody who's not FBA, but you come up here and you'll talk about how you're also discriminated against, how jobs discriminate against you, how the police, how you still face racial discrimination. All right, and say that, okay, well, we should all unify, or we should all understand or sympathize and empathize with the fact that that we all go through racial discrimination, right? But the thing is that the situation is beyond that, and we can't relegate our lineage to us just having modern day racial discrimination, because there's been things that's happened to our lineage that has not happened to your lineage, and there's things that our lineage needs that your lineage is not going to be able to take part in. For instance, reparations. Now, CARICOM, are you talking about we shouldn't separate or delineate and draw the line? CARICOM is advocating for reparations for the Caribbean. All right, and they've delineated. They've drawn, like you said, delineation is drawing the line. They do not see all of us as the same lineage. They don't. Like you're just saying that we should. CARICOM doesn't see it that way. All right, which is why CARICOM is advocating for the Caribbean. And to be honest, you haven't seen us really raise that as an issue. Have an issue with that. We understand that. We get that. All right. So now we're really on the same type of energy, because that is smart. I'm not gonna hate on that. I'm not hating. That's smart. CARICOM they're advocating for the Caribbean because their issue is different from our issue. Cool. All right. So now our issue is different from their issue. So you can't say that we shouldn't draw the line when it comes to everybody from the diaspora, but they've been drawing the line when it comes to us.
Yeah, and that's an important point. I mean, it brings me to one of my big questions here is what is the goal? What are you trying to achieve by delineation? If it's saying that we want
Ask you
to,
something.
hold on, just let me finish this real quick. If it's saying that we're seeking reparations and we don't want it to be watered down by tethers or whatever you call us, that's fine. I think that makes sense, right? So what is the goal of delineation? And then just one other thing.
You just said it.
Delineation,
You just said
brother,
the goal.
delineation is not a goal. It's not a mission. It's just something that happens. Delineation is just specifying that two things are not the same. Okay, you wouldn't call an apple and an orange the same. You're always going to recognize them as different things. Just like we're always going to have a different history. We're always going to have a different lineage. There's no
by making that,
because a lot of people are making it seem like, okay, well, what's the end goal? Where do you guys stop? There is no stop.
well, I'm just saying, what do you want? Are you trying to formalize it and get it on job applications and medical records? That you want separate categories?
It's not
for
your business.
FBA?
You're not foundational Black American.
Census, as far as having us on the census, that is separate the way Hispanics do, the way Asians do. That is necessary.
We haven't actually started the delineation because let me ask you this. When your father came here and you say that you haven't had a leg up, right? In life, period. You haven't had a leg up. Why did your dad come here then? What was the reason on why your dad came to America if it wasn't for a leg up?
My father came in 1960 as a part of a humanitarian effort that they made it kind of like a little project to bring him over here and get him an education, and that was pretty much it.
Exactly.
Now, so
a leg up.
It didn't go
so
any
a leg
further.
up. Exactly. So that's why delineation is important, because you guys will come over here and try to again prove our point that you are trying to take resources because you don't have the resources back at home, which is okay. Admit that. That is totally fine. But don't pretend and be delusional about something that already exists. Like you're trying to disprove history, and that's the part where it's disrespectful.
So first of all, I didn't have a leg up. I went through the same struggles as all of you.
IT mama, if she did not use her privilege to get you out the so-called hood, that's on her.
No, she didn't.
That ain't our business.
No, she didn't.
Okay, well then,
I was on my own when I was 14. So no,
oh, that's
I didn't.
even worse. But you're not Black American,
and that's okay. You're a victim, and that's okay. But again, it's okay to be that way. But what is not okay is to again repeat what the other people are trying to do, and that is erase the efforts that we already put into this country to be where we are today. Without Black Americans, without us, you would not be able to come here. No one would consider you guys, because without us being free, you guys wouldn't even be considered.
How am I trying to erase what you guys have done and what you've accomplished?
Here's the, brother, because we're gonna move on. The thing is that we've already stated the fact that, and you recognize, we don't have the same history and the same lineage. We are of a different lineage. You recognize that. You know that.
No, I recognize we're of the same lineage. You guys.
No.
And let me just tell you this too.
Stop. We are of a different lineage. We're of a different lineage. Let me ask you this question. Do you know what lineage means? Do you know what that means?
I do.
Okay. So if you know what lineage means, you know we're of different lineages. Every Black person does not have the same lineage. All right. And you guys are trying to make it seem as if that's the case because you guys want to keep the door open in America and in our lineage for you guys to run in and out of. All right. And that's
just like the young woman said, we're not a monolith.
Hold on. Because you couldn't, where'd you say your dad is from?
Gabon.
I don't know why I forget that. If you went to Nigeria and your dad is from Gabon, you wouldn't be able to be all like, well, technically I'm a Nigerian too. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't do that to them. Okay.
Those are two different nations, the
No,
different
no, yeah, it's
nationalities.
different nations with different nationalities and different lineages. You wouldn't go to Jamaica and say, hey, technically, we all have the same nation. We all have the same lineage. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't even say that to them. You wouldn't go
They do
anywhere.
have.
You wouldn't go to any other nation and tell them, well, we all have the same lineage. But you're coming over here saying that we all have the same lineage. And what that does is that waters our lineage down, and because what makes a lineage special is exclusivity. Okay. And if you're saying that any and everybody is welcome to our lineage, then our lineage is not special. Our lineage really doesn't exist at that point. If it's universal, lineages cannot be universal. And our lineage is literally the only lineage that anybody tries to make this universal thing. And that's just not we're not gonna be able to allow that. We're not gonna be able to do that. And nobody else does that to anybody else. And we're
I'll
not
tell
gonna
you this: Jewish people have been spread across the world, right? It doesn't mean that
Say
they
that. You
split
gotta
off
say
into
small
different.
hat. You gotta say
Okay,
small
small hats
hat.
have been. Okay, thank you. They've been spread across the world. It doesn't mean now they're different lineages. They still are one people. But let me say this one
that's
more
a very
thing. I'll
different
leave
case.
you guys
That's
with
no,
this.
no. That's a very different case. And to be very honest,
Don't
if
trust
you
yet.
if you want to talk about that, because their case is based off of a religious thing, and we're not really going to go into that. But they also have tribes in their community. They do have tribes, and they do recognize that all of their tribes are not the same. So they do actually delineate among each other. Now we don't know
Let me
about
just
that.
say,
They don't really advertise that, and they don't really talk about that. But they actually do. If you know about if you know about their history.
let me
Right.
just
And
say
I'm
one
going to tell
last
you
thing.
this. Hold on. Wait. No. You need to hear this. Don't come on
I'm
another
listening.
platform talking about you were raised in the hood, so you understand XYZ. Do you understand that Black Americans have more living out of those hoods than in? And like that's not the standard of determining who is Black and who is not. There are Latinos that live in those hoods. There's Caribbeans that live in those hoods, and I guarantee you, if we took y'all out, our neighborhoods would be more cleaner. Because people don't care about their homeland, so why do we expect them to care about a hood? Y'all use that as this form of street credit. Well, we ain't giving out no more consignment. When you say the hood, I'm gonna look at you like you got 10 eyes, because that is not the basis of who Black Americans are. Stop doing that, y'all.
But now you understand why delineate.
So the one last thing I was gonna say is, I'm gonna just tell y'all, my aunties in France who are from Gabon, they're sending me messages constantly about what's going on and what's happening to Black Americans here in America. They care about you. They care about us and you guys as much as anybody else. There's no hate, which is why I said I was blown away by the animosity.
You live in America.
It's just wild.
Hold on, you live in America.
It's
Your
just
aunties in France are sending you information about what's going on in America.
no, just sending me things about what's happening, the police brutality, etc. And they're upset about it, they're hurt about it, and so I'm saying we exchange these things, and their hearts are with you guys. So I don't see. I'm just saying, like, this division is
So do you feel
Talk
like
your own
what
shit.
does that have to do with delineation though? What does that have to do with the fact that we're of different lineages though?
it just comes back to this dividing, and all these, and what I'm trying, the last point I was going to make is not all these African people, because what I heard earlier was they don't like us. Somebody just said they want to unalive you, they would get rid of you guys. That's not true. In fact, Muammar Gaddafi offered $1 billion, and Clinton turned it down in '96.
Isn't he an
Denied it.
Arab? Is he really African? I thought Gaddafi was an Arab.
Yes, he's African.
All right,
Yes, he's African in Libya.
No, hold on. His ethnic group. Is he an Arab?
Rwanda has invited you guys
yes
back.
Or not?
Burkina Faso
No.
has
You didn't
invited
say
you
yes
guys
or no.
back.
After
Ghana has invited you guys
is
back. He's
Gaddafi
African.
an Arab?
He's African.
So here's the issue. He's Muslim.
Egyptians
too,
are
right?
African.
Hold on. And y'all don't really claim Egyptians the way we do. So here, sir, that was just one Muslim reaching out to another Muslim to put some money in his hand. Thank you.
Look, here's the thing. We know there's solid people on the continent. We're not immature. We're not being hateful. We know, we get that. We understand it. We get it. This ain't got nothing to do with we are looking at everybody on the continent as one people. We're not that ignorant and slow. We're not. But what does that mean? What does that matter? Ultimately, think about that. Because the ones who are not causing the issue are not really doing much to help. To be very honest with you. And as of right now, even if they were, they got their own things they need to focus on. They got their own things they need to think about. Okay.
Well, I've just told you I've raised $300,000 now.
Stop. Hold on.
Is that good?
Nobody is saying that they're all bad. Nobody is saying, I'm not definitely saying that everybody on the continent is bad or is a problem or is anti-black or is not for the upliftment of black people and black empowerment. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying everybody in the Caribbean is not that. We got some solid people on the continent and in the Caribbean and in America who are of their backgrounds. Okay. Nobody is trying to paint them all with one broad brush. But right now, what we do have to understand is that everybody has to, circle their wagons right now. And everybody has to look at their home and do for that. So right now, we're trying to do for what's in the best interest of our home and our homeland here. And everybody should be prioritizing what's in the best interest of their homeland. So, but right now, what we have is we have a lot of people who are not from our homeland who are in our mix. And and they're in our mix and they're getting in the way. So this is why delineation is necessary. It's not about hate. It's not about xenophobia. It's not about we all think that you guys are the same. Even though, to be honest, y'all troublemakers stand out. Come on now. We ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna do that because the same issues that we're having, they're having all throughout Africa. Okay, as far as immigration is concerned. So y'all troublemakers, and I'm not saying you in particular, but y'all troublemakers do stand out all throughout Africa, which is why Africa is so opposed to immigration. All right, but as of right now, if you want the best for black empowerment, then everybody needs to look back in their own lineage and say, what is the best thing I can do for my lineage? Now you're over here. So you need to do what's in our best interest, to be very honest with you. And it seems like nobody wants to do what's in our best interest. So if nobody wants to do what's in our best interest, it's time for us to ignore everybody else's best interest and do what's in our own best interest. And with that being said, we're going to move on. We're going to get to $ I'm one. $ I'm one. You can unmute yourself. Okay. All right. $ I'm one is probably not with us. It's it is kind of late. All right. Let's get to, and no, do y'all see the way I handled it or whatever? Oh no, my family loves you guys, y'all. My family loves you guys. Okay, and that's great. And shout out to your. Let's say that's true. Shout out to your family for that. That's cool. That's cool. But your family needs to focus on what they need to focus on. The same way we're focusing on what we need to focus on. What you want us to do is you want us to not focus on what's in our lineage's best interest. And we can't do that. We can't afford to do that because nobody else is going to do that. Nobody else is going to be all like, you know what? I'm in America, so let me fall behind black Americans. Let me do what's in the best interest of black Americans. Nobody else is doing that. So it's time for us to say, since nobody else is doing that, we got to do that. And if we got to step over other people's issues, which is not undermining them, if we got to walk past and ignore other people's issues to keep focused on our issues, then that's what has to happen.
Crazy how he only brought up they always bring up the negative issues. Why can't we always bring up things that are progressive as well? They never highlight on what we have done. They've always highlight on what we could have do better. And that's not progressive at all. That's not looking out for the community at all. That's just also agreeing with what white people say. I'm sorry, what white tea people in the community say to stereotype black people and put a stigma on us as if we're only doing negative things. And we're more progressive than anything, but they don't want to focus on that.
Yeah. It's a lot of stereotypes mixed in. The whole I'm from the hood and I made it out and I look out for my homeboy. It's a lot of little stereotypical things that they honestly feel. And giving his background, I'm sure he's mixed with a lot of that stuff. Not his fault if his mother's YT. That's not it. I don't. That's not nobody's fault. He can't tell who his mother is or control who his mother is. We're not blaming him for that, but we are going to have to put that into context. Okay, where you from? Before we say this, before we get to bookish, where you from is not a problem. Okay, we are mature enough to understand. We're all adults in this room. Where you from is not an issue. Who you are, who your parents are, is not an issue. Who you are is the point. Who you decide to be, because you have a decision. You have a choice. You don't have a choice where you were born. You don't have a choice who your parents are. You have a choice who you are, and who you are is what we're judging, and is what we're going by.
And unfortunately, many of the tethers have showed us throughout time that they do not rock with us. And with that, I will drop out.
Thank you, brother. Bookish, are you with us?
Thank you, Denzima.
Oh, hi, VX.
You're a little low.
Kish.
Can you
Can
speak
you
up a
hear
little
me?
bit?
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to say something, and I want to be very clear. Afro is not having these lives to plead a case. We're not asking for permission to delineate. What Afro is doing is educating his people on what delineation is.
Mm-hmm.
We're not up here putting ourselves on trial to get permission from the people from the diaspora on why we should delineate.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you can get from it, that's good. But I'm quite sure that Afro is having these lives to educate the people that are not up to par with what we're trying to do. So I really would like the diaspora to stop acting like we're asking you for permission to delineate in the country that our ancestors built.
Mm.
This toxic entitlement is ridiculous because you are not the main character here. We are. This is our country. You all are being bad guests. You all have had 80 some odd years after you guys have gotten your independence because y'all love to say, oh, we couldn't help y'all during slavery because we were colonized. We couldn't help y'all during Reconstruction because we were being colonized. Redlining, blah, 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 blah. Okay? We got to the modern world and you got over here, and what did you do?
Mm-hmm.
Not a damn thing but help yourselves. You've gotten your leg up. You've gotten your extra from us. You stepped on our backs and our necks to get to where you've gotten. Since y'all work hard, as I was saying the other day, is y'all work hard.
Yeah. Work harder.
Work harder. You've gotten those things. Now, it's time for you to either get up and go back to your homelands or be quiet and be better guests. Those are the choices that you have. And I'm so sick of this passive aggressive sneak dissing thing that they do when they get up here. That young man was up here trying to talk all nice. Oh yeah, and I did this and this, that, and other. Let me tell you something. Little old ladies in black churches all over the United States have been sending money, clothes, food, missions to Africa since the 1950s. I'm not even talking about our elite organizations. I'm not even talking about foreign aid. I'm talking about our black church ladies all over the United States have been sending aid to Africa for years. For years.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get up here and try to impress us with your $400,000 to take some neighborhood kids to the ski slopes, good. But that's a drop in the bucket from what you've received for us. A drop in the bucket. You're one of none. Majority of these people that live in our neighborhoods don't give us nothing, but they extract. Y'all are here not to be in community with us, but in excuse me, I'm sorry. My voice is getting cracked. Y'all are not here to be in community with us, but in commerce. And I wish y'all would be more honest about it because I would respect you more. Stop pretending like you have our best interests at heart because you do not. A benign racist is still a racist. That young man trying to be nice, but he still wanted to commit ethnocide against us because he's not going to benefit from us delineating.
No.
And any one thing that we are delineating and it's divisive is lying. It's divisive because you can no longer pop in and out of our ethnicity to get benefits from it. You just like really, I would just really respect people if they just told the truth about it. But they won't. They will pretend like they want to be kumbaya and we are the world with us all day long when their actions, where is your work product? Where's your work products, Diaspora? Show us what you've done for us simply because you wanted to help us. Show it. We could be in here all night telling you the things that we've done that's benefited you all without it benefiting us. In fact, majority of the products and the things that we've done over here have not even benefited us as greatly as it has you. You haven't shown anything. Show your work. Show your work. But you can't. So I would really, I'm sorry. I just really would like you guys to just stop being so dishonest. I would really like you guys to stop being so passive aggressive. I would really like for you guys to really mind your business. It's okay for you to sit in here, and it's okay for you to sometimes come up and speak to us, but you guys really have a problem with trying to denationalize us. You have a real problem with trying to devalue us. You have a real problem with trying to impede upon us being better because you really and truly in your heart of hearts don't want us to do any better because it's directly tied to your own inferiority complex. And for you second gens and third gens, it's really tied to you guys having your third culture kid identity crisis. And guess what? At the end of the day, none of that is our problem. And I'll land.
Thank you. Let me put this way, okay? A lot of people are from a lot of different places, different states and stuff like that, and we don't necessarily when we have these lives, we don't ask people where they're from, like state wise. I will if I like hear like a certain regional accent, I might do that just to have communication. Y'all don't have to, whatever. I understand people take that, are private about that. That's fine. That's fair. The thing is that where I'm from, there's been a lot of immigrants, right? There's been a lot of immigrants from the diaspora. I used to go when I was in college. There was a friend of mine became one of my absolute solid closest best, not my best because my best friends are from childhood, but one of my most solid friends, supporters. Okay, didn't know at the time that he was Nigerian. He's a first generation Nigerian. Okay, didn't know that until I started doing the Afro Elite thing, and he was fully in support of that. Fully in support of that. I'm telling you, I knew him for years. He was fully in support of that or whatever. And then I started calling out Pan-Africanism, and he was all like, "Hey, like I thought, like, I'm Nigerian, right?" And I was like, "Okay." And then he was all like, like, do you not like us? Do you hate us? Or like, have you always felt this way about Nigerians? And I said, no. And I don't feel any type of way about you either. I still consider you a close friend of mine. He's looked out for me and I've looked out for him in many different cases. And I would still look out for him. Okay. He's still a good person, in my opinion. He's still a solid man, in my opinion. And that's not going to change unless he decides to change his action. Okay, unless he changes who he is. That's not my opinion of him is not going to change based off of where his parents were from. You know, my opinion of him is only going to change based off of what he does. He is a great man, solid brother. I still told him we still have to delineate. We are still not the same. Okay, I'm still a black American and you are still a descendant of Nigeria. That doesn't make you bad. That doesn't mean I hate you or have any ill will towards you. And I wish you the best, but you are Nigerian and I am a black American. Okay, we're not best. We are not the same. I want you guys to understand when we say we got to delineate, this doesn't mean that we hate nobody. This doesn't mean that this is personal. This means this is what it is. Okay, I had to do that, and he's not a tether, solid brother, supportive brother, still doing that. I still got to delineate because this is what the situation is. Okay, this is not personal. Anytime they come up here and make it seem like, hey man, why y'all doing this to us? Can't we all get along? Delineating has nothing to do with us, quote unquote, not getting along. It's what is necessary. We are not the same. Okay, we're not. I told him that, he got it. He ultimately did get that. We're not the same people. No matter how cool they could be cool, and we could all be this great big family, we would still have to delineate, because delineation is not personal. Delineation is a fact of reality that we're now coming to accept. We're coming to accept the fact that we are not the same. We do not have the same lineage. We do not have the same history. And for the very most part, we do not have the same experience. Even though they got subjugation going on, we don't have the same experience. With the subjugation that they got going on in Africa is not the subjugation we got going on in America. The subjugation that they got going on in the Caribbean is not the subjugation that we got going on in America. It's not. We would still have to delineate. Delineation is not personal. Now, I told him that, he got it. And he still pops into the YouTube thing from time to time, still supports and all that stuff. You know, cool. Now he doesn't have a problem with that. So I know he doesn't take it personal. When I hear somebody have a problem with delineating and us delineating, I know for a fact that that's because they don't have the best interests of black people in mind. When I hear somebody have an issue with us delineating, I know that they have a secret agenda behind that. And they don't want us to delineate because they don't actually honestly view delineation as hateful. They view delineation as us cutting the plug off for them. So that's why they don't want us to delineate. None of them are confused. None of them think that delineation stems from hate or xenophobia. They get it. But they understand that us delineating cuts off the access for them. So now it's up to them to be held accountable for their homelands. And it's up to them to fix their homelands. So that's why they don't want us to delineate. So anytime you guys hear somebody have an issue with them delineating and they be all like that guy, but I do such great things for the community and why are you guys doing me like this? And I don't understand. No, that's because you see access to Black American lineage as an opportunity for you, even though you're not of that lineage. And now we're closing the door of that opportunity for you guys to come in and cosplay as our lineage and tether to our lineage. All right. So anytime you hear somebody say that, just know it's coming from a place of anti-blackness, essentially. And I appreciate you. It's in the middle of the night. I appreciate y'all. We got a whole bunch of likes. All right.
I want to agree with you on that because it's like at the end of the day, whatever you do for somebody else shouldn't even be praised and to begin with. Like, why is it always like people have to feel like they're giving us handouts for helping us when their countries are equally as much as in trouble? Everybody in the entire world is struggling because we're under a capitalistic system. Unless you are part of a 1% or have a financial income that is different than anybody else's, almost everybody is oppressed. And that means it's okay to feel like you can help other people without feeling like someone else is below you. And that's the difference between how you can tell someone is actually a progressive person or not, because no one is better than the next person. Just because you can come over here and help other people doesn't mean that you're better than that person. And that's how they always want to word it. That's how they always want to put it out, as in like, oh, here you guys go. You I'm helping you now. Where's my access card to feel like I'm one of you guys? Like, I've helped you, so now does that mean I can feel a part of the crowd? No. Just because you help somebody doesn't mean that you can get something else out of that. You're not a savior. Everybody deserves access. Everybody deserves a good life. Everybody deserves something. Just because you do something for somebody else does not mean you gain access for anything. Like, just do it out of the kindness of your heart. And they never do. And they just prove why they're terrible people to begin with.
It proves like there's an agenda behind what they're doing. That there's some type of reason. I'm gonna get to you, Zeke. I appreciate your patience, brother. Thank you. It proves that, because if I went to anywhere in the Caribbean or anywhere in Africa, and I was all like, I'm donating, I'm giving kids book bags and clothes, and I'm fixing up, and I'm giving water filters or whatever the case is, I can be all like, look at the water filter I just put in your community. Am I a Nigerian now? They'd be all like, oh no. Thanks for the water filter. I appreciate that. Thank you, brother. But no, you're not a Nigerian. I couldn't go to Jamaica and be all like, guys, look at, I gave you guys a whole bunch of water filters and with that solar panels. Am I a Jamaican? They'd be like, no, bumbaclot. No, you're not a Jamaican. They'd be like, no, but thank you. So why is it when they come over here, they'd be like, guys, I had a backpack giveaway. I'm a Black American. No. Thanks for the backpacks. Cool. Thank you. That's great. But you're not FBA. No, you're not. Okay. There's no amount of good things you can do to be FBA, because that's not what FBA is. It's a lineage. You're either in it or you're out. Is no in between, and there's no transfer. Let's get to Zeke. I appreciate your patience.
Yeah, no problem, brother. I'm FBA. I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to like add some insight and perspective on the whole. First of all, I do agree with delineating. But the foreigner, that girl that was up here, she said something that really was just so profound that I always like knew what I'm about to say. I always knew what it was. It was just always on the tip of my tongue. I just could never articulate it. But here's the thing: Pan-Africanism is the reason for all of this, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is because, I'll speak for my generation. I was born in '94. I'll speak for my generation, but I'm pretty sure what I'm about to say, younger generations and generations before more than likely experienced similar situations. So, like when I was growing up in Brooklyn, New York, immigrant city, right? Uh, in preschool, just to show you how embedded Pan Africanism is in society, in our culture, in our society at this point. When I was in preschool, so pre-K and kindergarten, I went to this school called the Nile Daycare. In this school, we were all taught about, Africa, pretty much African countries. We had to be able to name at least 25 African countries and just a whole bunch of stuff. And fast forward, a lot of these kids that were there were immigrants. As a kid, I'm not really thinking about it, but it wasn't until I got to like eighth grade, high schoolish. I remember being in a world history class, going off, not world history, U.S. history class, and we were going over slavery and Jim Crow and all that stuff. And I remember just looking at how many Black immigrants really felt like emotion towards learning these things, like genuinely feeling and believing that these are their people, that our people is their people. So a lot of them genuinely feel like they are us, and it stems from Pan-Africanism, right? So it really does like just show that I'll use the foreigner, and I see it in every foreigner who spoke after her when they seem to get confused, even though they know what delineation means. I feel like it's almost like an emotional trigger for them, you know? And I can only imagine what's like for the foreigners who are in uh, high positions within the government who do have some type of control over what goes on with us. I can only imagine that when they get into these positions is when that's probably when they truly, truly realize that there is a difference, and it probably hurts them. The talks of reparations hurts their feelings. I really do believe that. And it it really does stem from us. Maybe not. I don't. Maybe not us, because I'm starting to feel like this was all like a government psyop to begin with. Like Pan Africanism is like the long game. Like they knew we would get to this point because there's just no way they did not think about that. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I remember like with Martin Luther King and during the civil rights movement, he had what's that brother's name? I think it's Stokely Carmichael, who was a Jamaican American. I think he was, I'll just say Caribbean. He is the one that really was pushing the whole Black Power and all that Pan Africanism talk. And Martin Luther King was not really on that. If you really like do the history on that, he really was not. He was more so focused on us. But
Facts.
he is the one that kind of like started all of the bringing us together as one. And I'm not really concerned with the foreigners who are abroad. I'm more concerned with the foreigners here, because there are foreigners here who are in positions that directly impact us. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those people struggle with these terms like delineating, because I hate to say this, and I know a lot of Black immigrants are not going to agree with what I'm going to say, and it's partially our fault, but we have become a symbol globally for resilience and and just striving. So a lot of, and that's why like a lot of like Africans abroad specifically, when they come on panels and say certain things, and they may not want to admit it, but it's because they really truly feel like it is our responsibility to help them in their countries and the things that they're doing. And us preaching delineation amongst ourselves away from them, they're taking it as like we're just removing that symbol. We're just removing ourselves from that, you know? And it's really honestly, it's kind of sad, but it's something that has to happen, you know, and I just wanted to say that.
It does have to happen. It absolutely does have to happen. And you're right. A lot of us have enabled them, and we've enabled them so much so to a degree where they feel entitled.
Yeah.
Okay. And a lot of that is because of the way Pan Africanism developed, and it turned into, and I'm saying this, and a lot of people are starting to echo this now. Pan Africanism turned from a strategy and ideology, and it turned into some type of religion of this fantasy.
Yep.
Okay. That's what it evolved into, or deteriorated rather. It deteriorated into this religion of this fantasy of Africa being this Wakanda, and we all have some royal bloodline of Africa. That's what it deteriorated into. And we've been treating the diaspora like some type of royalty. And they're used to that. And they've grown throughout generations feeling entitled to that. And now here comes this new era of people saying, hey, we're closing the door and we're locking it. And they're so used to being fed, they don't know how to feed themselves, a lot of them.
Yeah. I'm saying that because if you really just think about what the foreigner was saying, and also the last guy that was just speaking, whose father's from Gabon, they genuinely, and I mean genuinely, sound hurt,
Yeah.
like straight up hurt. And I really do think that's just what it is for a lot of, I can't, I'm not, that's, I don't, that does not apply to foreigners abroad. They're just essentially leeches in my eyes. You know, they
Mhm.
don't know, they didn't grow up with us. They didn't have the option, or the pleasure rather, to hear these stories and actually be around us who feel the feelings that honestly were ingrained in them since they were children. You know, a lot of them, the foreigner literally said, I am African American. That is literally what she said. That brother who does not even come from this side of the world outside of his white tea mother genuinely feels like he said he is Black American so many times. I'm telling you, that's just, I really do believe Pan-Africanism is the reason for all of this. I really do. And that's all I just wanted to do, just to add some insight to whenever, you guys are on
I
panels or
gotta
anybody.
That's
respond to
good. That's
that.
good that you added that.
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for them. I don't think they're genuinely like hurt. I think that because if you really wanted a relationship with us, and somebody is saying we need reciprocation, I'm giving them all the issues. I took it out of the community and into the government as they deflect. If they don't have basic comprehension to understand how they are harming us, that means they do not care about us. And I'm going to tell you this. They don't want us to delineate because they won't benefit in the same manner. Now, the ones who aren't involved in politics, they won't have that, what I just said was cred. They won't have that cred that coming from the so-called hood would give them. They won't have access to the best culture that's running the globe. Like, they are going to lose all the way across the board. I'm delineated. Everybody I know is delineated. So they're losing out. And then they realize how much our money, for as much as they say we broke, we at the bottom. There is an African hosting a live talking about how can we improve customer service in our shops. I thought the boycotts weren't hurting y'all and they were over. If you're hosting a live about customer service, that means you're going to train people how to act towards us. So they're realizing that we are not only giving them culture and standing as Black people in this country and the world for growing up here, that we affect their finances too. So they're not genuinely hurt, they're genuinely scared. They're in fear that the life as they knew it is going to change if we don't remain silent. Well, they can't silence me, honey.
I
They can't.
agree
I don't
with
feel sorry for them.
I agree with you.
Period.
I will just add
For the
that
sake of
I
time,
was
I'm gonna
more.
let you land. I'm gonna let you land for the sake of time, and then we're gonna royalty had she said an important question, so I'm gonna let her ask that, and then we'll start right because I still got work I gotta finish in the middle of
Gotcha.
the night. I'm gonna be up all night getting work done, so I got to get to it. So I'm gonna let you land.
Yeah. So just real quick, I was just really speaking on my generation. I'm not speaking about my generation with globally in other countries or whatever. Just here in America, my generation who actually grew up here. I think it starts with hurt from the realization. It just shatters a dream, and then you get all the extras of all the stuff that you're talking about. So I don't disagree with you, BX, and I'll end.
It's like, and before you say that, it's like imagine, how when you start growing up and you get a job and whatever, and now your parents are all like, okay, well, now you got a job, you're 16, 17 years old, now you got to pay your phone bill, okay, or now you gotta buy some milk for the house, you got to do this for the house, and you start to develop the fact that you got to spend your money to contribute to the house. Okay, we haven't been enforcing that on pretty much anybody. So we've been taking care of all of the bills, all of the groceries, all of everything, all of the expenses. And then one day we're all like, actually, we're not paying for y'all at all. Pay for everything by yourself. We just close the door. And they're feeling like, hey, I'm not used to paying nothing. Hold on, what's going on? But the thing is that the whole time y'all was sitting up there doing the whole money arm thing and the whole money phone, and y'all was bragging about how y'all got it like that. Okay, I say, well, all right, cool. Well, now you can pay your bills then. You can pay your bills. And the thing is that a lot of the people, like, and even if I give it that guy, he's feeling the damn the pain of the fact that his immigrant non-FBAs, they've damaged the whole ground for everybody. They've created so much damage to the field where we say, you know what, we're shutting the door. Everybody, we just got to have a hard reset on everything and everybody. Okay. So now at this point, everybody got to pay their bills. And they're not used to that. A lot of them do feel hurt about that, but it is necessary. It is necessary. We do have to do it. Okay. Royalty and revenge. You said you had an important question for me.
Yes, it's royalty and reverence.
Reverence. Okay, I did see it. Okay.
Um, so I agree with pretty much everything that I've been hearing in the live.
Mm-hmm.
I I noticed that, so like in this, current climate in America, um, a lot of people are like saying like, oh well, we should be sticking together, and going against Trump and blah blah blah. But it's like, where was the sticking together energy before he was in office? Like, that's what I don't understand. A lot. So I don't understand why there's an issue. Kind of like it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when we do it, kind of thing. Because before this climate got to where it is right now, um, a lot of different cultures did not want to associate themselves with the foundational Black Americans. Like, it was like almost like, oh no, all the stereotypes that they can push, whatever, we're not associated with them. But when it's time to fight, everybody runs to the foundational Black Americans to fight their battles, which is baffling. Like, it's crazy. But I really, and if I want to bring up something that's really important to me that's going on right now. And if it's not okay, you can just tell me to stop talking about it. I don't know if you're familiar with what's going on with the case of Carmelo Anthony. He's a foundational Black American young little boy. He just turned 18. He he
We
was
know.
at
Yeah, we've talked about this. I've talked about this on my YouTube channel, and
oh,
we've had
okay.
lives about this, so I'm aware of the case. Is there a new development or something?
Well, they're doing a lot of things to oppress him and his family at this point, and it's very upsetting. There's a few of us, and I would really like if you could go and follow her name. I don't know. You probably heard about her. Her name's Tiffany Billions. She's a activist. She tells everybody she is a part of the Black Panthers. Um, and her name's Tiffany Billions.
Okay.
And she literally has been digging. She actually fought for the other Black guy that was unalived by the YT cop in Texas. Where I'm sure you probably heard about that case where she went into his house and unalived him. She actually helped bring justice to that case. But with this case with the Anthony family, what they're doing is they're trying to suppress information. Of course, I'm sure you've seen it, they're slandering this family, and they're pushing a lot of misinformation out, especially on TikTok. So, I just feel like one thing, we're talking about sticking together as foundational Black Americans. This is something that everybody should be standing up behind, because this boy was simply sitting there minding his business. If you look into the details, don't let people just tell you anything. Just do your research, do your diligence, and you will see they are trying to, like they normally do, spin a narrative and paint him in a bad light. This boy was really attacked by four other boys, and he was defending himself.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to kind of change, move your goalposts, but I just felt that I needed to come up and talk about this because it's very important right now. And this is something that, if we're going to stick together, this is something that we should be standing behind, because they're trying to railroad him. The district attorney tried to suppress the video, the videos. Tiffany Billions, the one I told you about, she's been fighting. She's actually the reason why people were actually able to go and see the video of what happened with the incident at the track meet. It's like, not the full, video, but it's enough to show people that he was protecting himself.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna look into that. I do know about the situation. I do know about the situation. Okay. Um, I do know that some people have seen the video. I haven't seen the video yet, so I will look up the names that you're talking about in the situation. All right. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. But as far as I think tonight, we've pretty well established why delineation is necessary. Okay. Why delineation is necessary. We established that. Many people have come up. They're mad. They're angry. They understand. They get it. They know. They get it, and they've delineated. And the thing is that we've been doing this and saying this for so long, or whatever. The people who are not upset with it, they understand why it's necessary. They get it. It's necessary. It is necessary for us to delineate the same way they do. It's necessary for us to have that barrier the same way everybody else does. The only way a lineage is going to be protected, is going to be special, is it's through exclusivity. Lineages and culture is special because it's not universal. A culture is special because a culture belongs to a certain group of people. A lineage is special because a lineage belongs to a certain group of people. And ethnicity belongs to a certain group of people. That's what makes it unique. That's what makes it different from everything else in the world. That's what makes it special. And when you try to strip that and break the barriers and say, well, that belongs to everybody. What belongs to you belongs to everybody, but what belongs to us belongs to us. That's the system that we've been living under for generations and generations and generations. And now we're saying, you know what belongs to us belongs to us. We're not going to do a thing where our lineage and our culture and our history is universal and everybody can pick and choose when they want to participate. But y'all stuff is y'all stuff. So y'all take the good and y'all leave the bad when it comes to us. But we can't take no good from y'all. So we're saying, okay, as of right now, what is necessary is that everybody keep the same energy. Right, first off, it's necessary, and it was going to happen anyway, for the reason of making sure that our lineage is special and is protected and is gatekept the way it needs to be. And it also goes to show a lesson and to teach people the hard way that trying to tether, cosplay, and disrespect comes with consequences. Okay, it does. I mean, that's the truth. Ask Tyler. Now, BX, can you close this out real quick? Appreciate you.
Sure, this was a good live. We did, I just, ugh. So I want everybody to notice how the Jamaican lady was acting, talking about New York as if it gave her some standing. And when I gave her pushback, she said, "You must be from the South." And when I went to take her head off, I had to stop. So these are the things that they do. They're scared of where they came from because they understand that they are cosplayers. They understand that they are vultures. They understand that they are appropriators. But they want us to fall in line with them so they can keep benefiting. They want our cultural currency. They want our soft power. They want all the things that we may actually take kind of for granted because we are from the soil. We go about our lives fighting for what's right, and we don't really cause division. So we don't expect people to come and do the things they do to us. But our eyes are open. And to my people, I saw some of us on a panel giving the African tips about how to have better customer service. Yeah, the goal is to put the money back into our providers' hands. So I'm looking at a lot of people, a lot of crazy Afro, because then what are we boycotting for? We don't want them to stay in business. They're too disrespectful. Not all for us. Let them, that white tea woman that they be sucking up, and all them people, let them take care of them. But we got all those skills or hints we were giving to the African lady. Give it to us when we open our brick and mortars. I'll land there. Thank y'all for coming out. And Afro, when is the next time you're going live?
I'm not sure. I'm kind of busy this week. I'm not. Be honest with you, but I'll let you know. I can't give
no problem. And it'll be the AU, looking off over the AU, or you're not sure?
Probably, more than likely, yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you, y'all. And you know what? I would need a break from y'all too if I was Afro Elite. Y'all just be doing too much in the chat. That's all. But I love y'all for real, foundational Black Americans. And to our writers, I know we may come off kind of harsh, but if you really get it, you really understand it, you know that we're not talking about you. We're talking to the collective of your people that's not trying to stand in solidarity with us at this time. I land.
That's true. What's understood don't got to be explained. We got writers. We have writers in the continent. We got writers in the Caribbean. Some in the UK, even though a lot of UK folks are tripping right now. We got some in the UK and then some in America. And if you get it, you get it. And for the people who get it, they're not saying anything. They're falling in line. The only people who are saying things are people who are trying to exploit and people who are trying to have us go back with the go along to get along. Those are the only people who are saying anything. Okay? Everybody who gets it has already fallen in line and is in lockstep. The only people who are saying anything are the people who want us to go back out of line and be out of alignment. And that's not going to happen. You all have a good rest of your night. I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for the likes. We got over 200,000 likes. Thank you guys. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Y'all have a good rest of y'all nights. All right. We will be back with you guys. I just don't want to give a date that I can't keep. I don't want to give a time that I can't keep. So that's why I'm not giving one right now, but we will be back with you guys. Okay. And we have these lives all of the time. You guys want to follow me so you guys don't miss out on the next one. You guys want to go to For the Culture on YouTube to listen to the playback of this live, of all of our TikTok lives, and there's a lot of other good content on there. You also want to follow me, Afro Elite, on YouTube, and the link to that and the rest of my social media is in the bio. With that being said, good night, family. I appreciate y'all. See you guys later.
I sent you a message.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.